I need your attention right now, my child. Do not keep scrolling. Do not tell yourself you will come back later. Do not assume this is just another message passing through your day. I have been trying every evening to reach you, and tonight is no different. Long after the noise faded and the world settled into silence, I was there. When your mind refused to rest, I was there. When you stared into the darkness carrying questions you could not answer, I was there. When you felt surrounded by people and yet strangely alone, I was there. And even when you did not recognize my presence, I never stopped reaching for your heart. You may not realize how many times I have tried to get your attention. I spoke through the quiet moments you rushed past. I spoke through the uneasiness you could not explain. I spoke through the doors that closed, the plans that shifted, the thoughts that lingered longer than they should have. There were evenings when you felt a pull to stop and breathe, a feeling that there had to be more than simply surviving another day. That was not your imagination. That was me. I was calling you closer because I could see what nobody else could see. I could see the weight you were carrying behind your smile. I could see the exhaustion hidden beneath your strength. I could see the silent battles that never became words. This moment is not random. Out of all the things you could be doing right now, your eyes landed here. Your attention paused here. Something inside you chose to stay, even if you do not fully understand why. That is not an accident. I arranged this moment because there are things I need you to hear before you move forward. There are burdens you were never meant to carry alone. There are wounds you have been hiding for too long. There are questions in your heart that have kept you awake, and I am not willing to leave them unanswered. If you leave now, you may miss the very thing you have been asking me for. You may walk away before you recognize the reason I have been pursuing you so faithfully. But if you stay, if you listen with an open heart instead of a guarded one, you will begin to understand why I kept reaching for you evening after evening. You will discover that I was not absent during your hardest moments. You will see that what felt like silence was often my hand protecting you, guiding you, preparing you, and waiting for the right moment to speak clearly. So stay with me, my child. Set aside your distractions for a little while longer. Let your heart become still. Let your spirit listen. Because what I am about to tell you is connected to every evening I have spent calling your name, every moment I have stood near you unseen, and every reason I refused to give up on reaching you. Today, I want to show you what those evenings were really about. My child, before you go any further, I need you to understand something in the deepest part of your heart. I brought you here. I saw the weight you were carrying before you even knew how heavy it had become. I saw the thoughts moving through your mind, the quiet ache in your chest, the way you kept going while something inside you was growing more tired than you wanted to admit. And because I love you too much to let you keep moving without hearing me, I interrupted your day in a way only I could. You may think this is just a message, just words on a screen, just another moment in a long day. But I need you to hear me clearly. This moment has been touched by my hand. I have been patient with you. I have watched you try to hold yourself together, watched you smile when you felt empty, watched you keep showing up while your spirit quietly asked for rest. I know how easy it has been for you to think that nobody really sees what is happening inside you. But I do. I always have. And that is why I am speaking now in a way that feels personal, because it is personal. This is not for the crowd. This is for you. You have been asking for something, even if you did not always put it into words. Sometimes it came out as exhaustion. Sometimes it sounded like confusion. Sometimes it was just that strange feeling that something in your life has been missing, even while you tried to convince yourself that you were fine. I heard all of it. I heard the questions you buried, I heard the prayers you never finished. I heard the silence too. And I have been guiding you toward this moment because I wanted you to stop long enough to realize that I am still here, still near, still speaking, still reaching. You may not understand yet why your heart slowed down when you read these words or why something in you felt the need to stay. But that pull is not random. That is what happens when my spirit reaches for yours. I know how many things have been pulling at your attention lately. I know how noisy the world has become around you. I know how many times you have pushed past your own weariness just to make it through another day. But right here, right now, I am asking you to let this be different. Let this be the moment where you stop treating your soul like it can wait forever. Let this be the moment where you finally admit that you need more than distraction, more than survival, more than pretending. You need me. And I am here, my child. I am here because I chose this moment for you. And if you stay with me, you will begin to understand that I have been trying, with all the tenderness of a loving father, to reach your heart all along. My child, I need you to slow down and let this settle inside you, because the truth is I have not been absent from your life the way you sometimes believe it. I have been reaching for you for longer than you realize. And I have not only spoken in the loud moments you were hoping for. I have spoken in the quiet. I have reached for you in the spaces you dismissed. I was there in the evenings when your body was tired but your mind would not rest, when the room looked calm but your heart felt crowded. I was there in the strange pause that came over you when everyone else seemed content, and yet something inside you whispered that you were still hungry for more. I was there in the moments when you felt an ache you could not explain, when something in you wanted to be held but you did not know how to say it. That was not emptiness with no meaning. That was me touching the edge of your heart and asking you to notice that you were not meant to live disconnected from me. Look back for a moment. Think carefully. Remember the nights when you almost reached for me but chose distraction instead. Remember the times when you felt a nudge to be still, to step away, to breathe, to pray, to close the noise out for just a little while. I was in those moments, my child. I was not demanding perfection from you. I was inviting you into peace. You have often expected me to come only through dramatic signs, but I have always known how to meet you in gentler ways because I know how fragile and tired your heart has been. I have spoken through delays that made you stop. I have spoken through doors that closed before they could wound you deeper. I have spoken through a conversation you could not shake, through a line you heard that stayed with you longer than it should have, through the restlessness that followed you even after you got what you thought you wanted. I even spoke through your disappointment, not to break you, but to wake you. I know you called some of those moments inconvenience. I know you called some of them bad timing. I know you sometimes blamed yourself and sometimes blamed life. But I want you to hear me now. I was there, carefully, patiently, reaching for you in ways that would not crush you. So stop resisting the quiet. Stop running from stillness as if it is empty. Come closer now. Let your mind loosen its grip for a moment. Put down the need to figure everything out before you respond to me. Listen. Breathe. Stay with me here. When you feel that soft pull inside you, do not brush it off again. Follow it. Let it lead you. Let me teach you how to recognize my voice again, because I have not stopped speaking to you, and I do not intend to stop now. My child, there were so many times I came near you and you did not realize it was me. You thought it was only your mind racing, only a passing emotion, only one of those strange moments that come and go without meaning. But I was closer than you knew. I was there in the thought that told you to step back before you made that choice you would regret. I was there in the feeling that told you not to ignore what your spirit was sensing. I was there in the sudden discomfort that rose in you when everything around you looked fine on the outside. but something deeper inside you knew it was not right. You called it overthinking. You called it stress. You told yourself you were just tired, just emotional, just imagining things. But many of those moments were my hand on your shoulder, my whisper moving through the noise, my love trying to protect you before the damage became deeper. I know how easily you have learned to doubt your own inner stirring. I know how often life has trained you to trust what is visible and ignore what is sacred. But your heart was picking up what your mind kept trying to explain away. The tension you felt was not always confusion. Sometimes it was conviction wrapped in gentleness. Sometimes it was wisdom trying to reach you before pain did. Sometimes it was me, standing at the door of your attention, asking you to let me in before you walked further down a road that could not hold your soul. I do not say this to shame you. I say it because I want you to begin noticing me differently from this moment forward. I want you to stop dismissing every holy interruption as if it is only anxiety. I want you to stop labeling every deep stirring as weakness. Come closer and understand this. I know how your life has shaped your reflexes. You learn to second-guess tenderness. You learn to mistrust quiet. You learn to live fast because slowing down made you feel exposed. But I am asking you now to unlearn that. Let me retrain your heart. Let me show you that not every inner pull is something to suppress. Some of what you felt was me calling you back before your spirit grew numb. Some of what unsettled you was me refusing to let you settle for less than the life I made you for. So when you feel that check in your spirit again, do not rush past it. Pause. Ask me what I am showing you. Sit with me before you react. Invite me into the moment before fear or impulse takes over. Let your next response be different. Choose to listen. Choose to trust that I know how to reach you in the language of your own soul. And if you are willing, if you will stay open and stop brushing off the whisper, you will begin to realize that I have been far nearer to you than you ever imagined. My child, I need you to hear this with your guard down, because if you misunderstand my heart here, you will keep hiding from the very love that can heal you. I am not speaking to you from anger. I am not leaning toward you with disappointment in my eyes, waiting to list everything you did wrong. I know that is how you have expected me to sound because life has taught you that distance always comes with blame, that when someone is hurt, they pull away, punish, accuse, or make you prove yourself before they come close again. But I am not like those who wounded you. I have watched you drift, yes. I have seen the distance grow. I have seen the quiet compromises, the distractions, the slow turning of your attention toward things that could never carry your soul. And still, what rose in me was not rejection. It was grief wrapped in love. It was the ache of a father watching his child walk farther into fog while still keeping the porch light on. That is what my heart has been doing for you. I have not shut the door. I have kept it open. I have not crossed your name out. I have called it softly, even when you were too tired, too ashamed, or too distracted to answer. You need to stop for a moment and let this truth break through the fear you have been carrying. Come closer. Stop assuming that every time I speak firmly, I must be condemning you. I am not exposing you to humiliate you. I am uncovering what hurts because I want to heal it. I am not revisiting your distance to punish you for it. I am naming it because I want to bring you back from it. Your drifting did not make me less loving. Your silence did not make me less present. Your numbness did not make me leave. I have stayed nearer than you know. I stayed in the background when you filled your days with noise. I stayed in the stillness you kept avoiding. I stayed through the nights when your body was in bed but your spirit was restless. Even now, I am not asking you to explain every misstep. I am asking you to stop running from me. Turn toward me. Let yourself be honest. Let your shoulders drop. Let the version of me that fear created inside your mind fall apart. I am not here to crush you under guilt. I am here to call you home before the distance hardens into habit. Open your heart and receive this. You are not too far for me, not too cold for me, not too late for me. Let me in. Stop defending your pain as if it protects you. Stop treating shame like it belongs in your future. Come back with your real heart, not a polished one. Bring me your confusion, your fatigue, your regret, your guarded places. Give them to me. I can do more with your honesty than you can do with all your hiding. Stay with me here, because the moment you stop fearing my voice, you will finally begin to hear the love that has been chasing you all along. My child, as you stop running and begin to hear my voice again, do not keep this moment to yourself. What I am restoring in you is meant to become light for someone still lost in the fog you just stepped out of. When you give, you are not losing. You are sowing seeds into a harvest of souls who are waiting to hear me call their name the way I called yours. I tell you even now, give, and it will be given to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, and this word is alive for you in this moment. If your heart is stirring, that is not emotion alone, that is my spirit inviting you to partner with me. Through your super thanks, your membership, or your PayPal offering, the link is in the description, you become a vessel that carries my voice farther than you can see. I will breathe on what you release, and it will return to you as provision, covering, and peace. Do not ignore this nudge, for this is a divine appointment wrapped in obedience. Act now, and let your giving become part of someone else's return home. My child, part of why you have struggled to hear me is not because I stopped speaking, but because your life has become so crowded that your soul barely has room to breathe. I see how full your days have become. I see how quickly your attention is pulled from one thing to the next, how your mind is asked to carry more than it was ever meant to hold, how even your quiet moments are no longer truly quiet because something is always flashing, calling, demanding, buzzing, pulling, pressing. You have been living in a storm made of noise, and after a while, even chaos can start to feel normal. That is what has happened to you. The noise has become familiar. The rush has become routine. The distraction has become your shelter, even though it has also been draining your spirit. You have reached for your phone when your heart needed prayer. You have filled silence with scrolling when what you really needed was stillness. You have kept yourself busy because slowing down would force you to feel what you have been avoiding. I understand why you did it. I know the world has taught you to survive by staying occupied. But listen to me now and do not turn away from this. What has been surrounding you is not neutral. It has been shaping you. It has been numbing what should be tender, dulling what should be discerning, exhausting what should be at rest. And that is why I am calling you to stop. Not tomorrow. Not later when everything is easier. Now, pause. Put the noise down, even if only for a moment, and let your soul remember what peace feels like. You do not need to keep proving you can carry what is graying you. You do not need to keep feeding your mind with things that leave your spirit starved. Come out of the constant current for a moment and sit with me. Let me show you what the world has been stealing quietly while you were trying to keep up. It hath been stealing your sensitivity, your stillness, your ability to notice what is holy. It has been training you to react quickly and feel shallowly, while I am trying to teach you how to live deeply and hear clearly. Think of your heart like a room filled wall to wall with voices, clutter, echoes, and unfinished thoughts. How could you hear a whisper in a room like that? Yet I have still been whispering because I love you too much to stop. Now I am asking you to make space. Clear the room. Shut the door for a little while. Sit down with me and let the dust settle. Breathe slowly. Let the need to check, respond, chase, and perform loosen its grip. Invite me into the silence you fear, because I am not waiting there to accuse you. I am waiting there to restore you. If you will let me quiet what has been crowding you, you will begin to notice something beautiful. The peace you thought you lost was not destroyed, only buried. And I know exactly how to uncover it. Stay near me. Choose quiet on purpose. Guard your attention like something sacred, because it is. The more room you make for me, the more clearly you will hear the voice that has never stopped calling your name. My child, come closer now and stop pretending for a moment, because you have been carrying far more than the people around you have ever understood. You have learned how to move through a room while hiding what is happening inside you. You know how to answer questions with a smile when your heart feels tired. You know how to keep conversations light when your thoughts are heavy. You know how to keep showing up, keep working, keep responding, keep functioning, even when something in you feels like it has been stretched so thin that one more burden might be too much. I have seen all of it. I have seen the version of you that other people applaud, and I have seen the version of you that goes quiet when the day is over and the noise fades. I know how many times you have sat alone, staring into nothing, trying to understand why you feel exhausted in ways sleep cannot fix. I know how many nights your body rested while your mind kept running in circles. I know the pressure you never named, the disappointment you swallowed, the anger you pushed down, the sadness you tucked away because you did not want to become a burden to anyone else. But hear me clearly now. You were never meant to carry all of this alone. Set it down. Stop gripping every weight as if your worth depends on how much you can endure without collapsing. Come to me honestly. Bring me the invisible load, the quiet ache, the private pressure. I am not asking you to be stronger. I am asking you to stop hiding how tired you are. You have carried responsibility like a backpack full of stones, and after a while you forgot how heavy it had become because pain can turn familiar when it stays long enough. You adjusted to the strain. You adapted to the ache. You called it maturity, survival, duty, discipline. But some of what you are carrying is not wisdom. Some of it is accumulated sorrow. Some of it is fear dressed as control. Some of it is old hurt that never got healed because you kept moving instead of letting yourself feel it. Let me tell you something with tenderness and truth. You do not honor your life by breaking yourself to hold everything together. You honor your life when you let me hold what was never yours to manage alone. So stop for a moment. Put your hand on your heart if you need to. Breathe deeply. Let the walls soften. Tell me the truth about what hurts. Tell me where you feel stretched. Tell me what you have been afraid to admit, even to yourself. Invite me into the part of you that has been trying so hard to look fine. I already know what is there, and I am not repelled by it. I am drawn to it because that is where I want to minister to you. Let me lighten what hath been pressing on your chest. Let me steady what has been shaking inside you. Let me teach you that surrender is not weakness. It is wisdom. You do not have to prove your strength to me. You are my child. Let yourself be held. Stay here with me and allow the weight to shift. I can carry what is crushing you, and I can do it without dropping a single piece. My child, there were moments you never fully spoke about, moments so private and so painful that even now you struggle to revisit them. But I was there. I saw the nights when the darkness in the room felt easier to face than the thoughts inside your own mind. I saw the evenings when you sat in silence, too drained to cry properly, too tired to pray clearly, too numb to even explain what was wrong. I saw the instant when you wondered if anything would ever change, when you questioned whether your effort still mattered, when you felt like you had been strong for too long and had nothing left to pull from. You may think those were just low moments, just emotional crashes, just difficult days, but I know how close you came to surrendering to hopelessness. I know how close you came to deciding that this was simply how life would always feel. And yet, even there, I was beside you. I was nearer than your next breath. I was in the small strength that kept you from making the choice your pain wanted you to make. I was in the quiet restraint that held you back when your mind was spiraling. I was in the breath you took when you did not even want to keep going. I was in the morning that still came, even when the night had convinced you it would never end. Do not dismiss that. Do not call it nothing. That was me carrying you through a valley you were never meant to cross alone. So look back with honesty, not shame. Recognize how many times I kept your life from slipping through your own exhausted hands. I need you to understand this now because it matters deeply. The fact that you are still here is not a small thing. It is sacred. It is a testimony, even if it has not become words yet. You survived days that should have broken your confidence. You stood back up after moments that stole your peace. You made it through stretches where your faith felt thin and your heart felt bruised. That does not make you weak. It reveals how fiercely I have been preserving you. Come here and receive that truth. Stop speaking about yourself as if your survival was accidental. Stop reducing your endurance to luck or routine. I kept you. I covered you. I held the thread when your fingers were slipping. And now I am asking you to do something different with that memory. Do not only remember the pain. Remember my presence in it. Let those dark moments stop being proof that I was distant. Let them become proof that I never let go. Bring me the memory of the night you almost quit. Bring me the version of you that sat in the dark and thought no one knew. I know. I knew then, and I know now. Let me touch those memories without fear. Let me heal the place where despair tried to make a home in you. Open that door and invite me in. You do not need to be afraid of what comes up when you remember, because I am not taking you back there to wound you again. I am taking you back there to show you that even then, when you thought you were alone, my hand was already under you. Stay with me, my child. Do not rush past this. What almost broke you did not finish you, and I am not done restoring what those moments took from your heart. My child, I know there are still places in your heart that ache when you remember what did not work out. There are doors you knocked on with real hope, real effort, real expectation, and when they stayed shut, it felt personal. You questioned yourself. You questioned your worth. Sometimes you even questioned me. You wondered why I would let you care so deeply about something only to watch it fall apart in your hands. I saw every part of that. I saw the plans you built with sincerity. I saw the prayers you attached to people, opportunities, relationships, and outcomes that looked so right to you at the time. I also saw what you could not see. I saw what was waiting behind some of those doors. I saw the hidden cost. I saw the quiet compromise. I saw the kind of pain that would not have shown itself until you were already entangled. That is why I need you to stop calling every closed door a rejection. Some of those closed doors were rescue. Some of those endings were mercy in disguise. Some of those delays were my hand between you and a wound you were not built to carry. Think of it this way, my child. You were standing before a beautiful doorway, but behind it was a room slowly filling with smoke. You only saw the frame. I saw the fire. And because I love you, I did not let you walk in just because it looked right from where you were standing. I know that truth is hard to receive when the memory still hurts. Protection rarely feels like protection in the moment. It often feels like loss, confusion, embarrassment, or silence. But I want you to let me reinterpret your story. Come back with me to the places where you felt blocked. Bring me the relationship that collapsed, the opportunity that vanished, the connection that faded, the answer that never came. Bring me the version of you that stood there asking, "Why would this happen to me?" And let me show you something deeper. I was not standing against you. I was standing in front of what would have consumed your peace. I was not delaying your life. I was preserving your future. So release your resentment now. Do not keep worshiping a door I intentionally kept shut. Do not keep romanticizing what I refuse to bless. Open your hands. Loosen your grip on what you thought had to happen in order for your life to matter. Invite me into your disappointment and let me wash the sting out of it. Ask me to show you what you were spared from. Ask me to heal the places where unanswered prayers still feel like unanswered love. They were never that. My love was in the no. My wisdom was in the wait. My mercy was in the interruption. Trust me enough to believe that I do not withhold good things to wound you. I remove what would break you, and I keep back what would bury you under consequences you cannot yet imagine. So stop staring at the closed door, my child. Turn around. Walk with me. There are doors ahead that will open without forcing, without fear, without hidden poison behind them. Stay close, and I will lead you to what carries my peace instead of your panic. My child, as you release what I closed and trust where I am leading you, understand this: what I open through you can become provision for many. Every seed you sow into this mission becomes a doorway for another heart to escape what would have consumed them. I have said, those who sow in tears shall reap in joy, and I am turning even your past disappointments into seeds of impact. When you choose to give, you are no longer standing before closed doors. You are helping me open eternal ones for others. Your super thanks, your membership, or your PayPal gift, yes. The link is waiting in the description, becomes oil that keeps this light burning. I see the willingness behind your offering, and I will multiply it in ways you cannot predict. Peace in your home, clarity in your path, favor in your steps. Do not cling to what I have asked you to release. Let it flow into something greater. This moment is not random. It is me inviting you into purpose. Step forward now and give as I lead you. My child, there is something I need you to understand about the emptiness you have been feeling, because you have often treated it like an enemy when, many times, it was a messenger. That hollow place inside you, that ache that kept returning after the excitement wore off, after the achievement landed, after the conversation ended, after the distraction faded, that was not meaningless pain. I allowed you to feel that emptiness because I needed you to notice what your soul had been missing. You kept reaching for things that promised relief, and for a moment they seemed to work. You stayed busy. You stayed occupied. You filled your hands, your mind, your hours, your screen, your plans, your attention. But when the room got quiet again, there it was. That ache returned like a soft knock you could not silence for long. I know how frustrating that has been for you. I know you have asked yourself why nothing seems to satisfy the way you hoped it would. But listen carefully now. I was not punishing you by letting those things fall short. I was protecting you from mistaking substitutes for home. If the temporary had fully satisfied you, you might have settled there. If the shallow had felt deep enough, you might never have searched for what was real. If the world had filled you, you might never have realized that your soul was built for more than moments that glitter and vanish. So I let the emptiness speak. I let it whisper to you when the noise faded. I let it linger just enough to remind you that you were made for something deeper, steadier, holier than what you had been chasing. Now I want you to stop running from that ache and start listening to what it hath been trying to tell you. Do not numb it again too quickly. Do not cover it over the moment it rises. Sit with me in it. Let it become a doorway instead of a sentence. Your emptiness is not proof that you are broken beyond repair. It is proof that your soul still remembers me. It is the homesickness of a heart that has wandered too long through borrowed comforts. Think of it like drinking salt water when you are thirsty. The first sip feels like relief, but the deeper thirst only grows. That is what happens when you try to fill a spiritual hunger with temporary things. You are not foolish for wanting relief. You are human. But I am calling you higher now. Stop feeding your deepest need with what can only touch the surface. Come closer. Bring me the cravings, the distractions, the patterns, the places you keep returning to when you feel alone or unsettled. Do not hide them. Hand them to me. Let me show you the difference between stimulation and peace, between attention and intimacy, between escape and healing. You have been looking for rest in rooms that were never built to hold your soul. Come out of them. Step into my presence and stay long enough to feel what real peace does inside you. Let the emptiness turn you toward me instead of away from me. Let it become your compass, not your shame. If you will stop fighting the ache and start following it back to me, you will discover that what felt like a void was actually an invitation, and I have been standing on the other side of it, waiting for you to finally come home. My child, I need you to be honest with yourself now, because the exhaustion you feel did not come only from what happened to you. Some of it came from where you kept going to recover. You have been searching for rest, but you have been looking for it in places that were never built to carry the weight of your soul. You tried to find peace in distraction, in attention, in progress, in being needed, in being noticed, in staying busy enough not to feel what was hurting inside you. You kept telling yourself that if you could just get through this week, finish this task, hear from that person, reach that milestone, fix that problem, then maybe your heart would finally settle. But even when you reached those moments, the peace never stayed. It slipped through your hands like water. You know that feeling. You know what it is like to finally sit down after a long day and still feel restless. You know what it is like to have the house quiet and the mind loud, to have people around you and still feel emotionally alone, to finally get what you wanted and still sense that something inside you is not healed. That is not because you are ungrateful. It is because you have been asking temporary things to do eternal work. You have been trying to build a home out of things that were only ever meant to be tools. Stop doing that, my child. Stop leaning your whole heart against walls that cannot hold you. Come away from that cycle. Let yourself admit that what you have been calling rest has often only been escape with softer lighting. I am not saying this to shame you. I am saying it because I want to free you from the endless loop that keeps draining you. Real rest is not found in shutting your mind off for a little while only to wake up heavy again. Real rest is not a break from your pain while the pain remains untouched. Real rest is when your spirit stops bracing. It is when your heart no longer feels like it has to defend itself every second. It is when you let me carry what has been living in your chest like a locked room full of unfinished thoughts. Think of your soul like a weary traveler trying to sleep in a train station. Bright lights, constant movement, voices everywhere, no place to truly exhale. That is how you have been living, and then you wonder why you wake up tired. Come out of the station, my child. Come with me. Sit down with me where the noise cannot keep reaching you. Stop negotiating with the habits that leave you emptier. Stop calling emotional numbness peace. Stop chasing comfort that only comforts the surface. Invite me into the place where your real weariness lives. Tell me what keeps circling in your mind. Hand me the pressure you keep carrying into tomorrow. Let me teach your body and your spirit what safety feels like again. Stay with me longer than feels convenient. Resist the urge to run the moment silence begins to uncover what you have buried. That is not danger. That is healing beginning. If you will let me become your resting place instead of your last resort, you will discover something beautiful. The peace you have been chasing is not far from you. It is found in my presence, and I have been holding the door open this whole time. My child, there were seasons when you stopped reaching for me the way you once did. I know that. I saw how the days filled up, how the pain got louder, how disappointment changed your rhythm, how your heart slowly pulled back because it felt easier not to expect too much. Some days you did not pray. Some days you barely thought of me except in passing. Some days you were so tangled in survival that spiritual hunger felt buried under practical pressure. But hear me clearly now, and let this settle deep inside you. I never left you. Not for one moment. Not when you were distracted. Not when you were numb. Not when you were angry. Not when you were ashamed. Not when you stopped looking for me because part of you was afraid of what I might say. I did not step away because you became inconsistent. I did not withdraw because your attention wandered. I stayed. I stayed in the quiet background of your busiest days. I stayed in the car rides where your thoughts were too heavy to explain. I stayed in the sleepless nights where you stared at the ceiling and did not know what to do with your own mind. I stayed in the moments when you smiled for others and felt hollow inside. I stayed in the choices you almost made that would have wounded you deeper. I stayed like a steady flame in a storm, not demanding to be noticed, but refusing to go out. You may have felt far from me, but distance in your awareness never changed my nearness to you. I was there, my child. I was there the whole time. Now I want you to stop rewriting your story as if you were abandoned. Do not keep telling yourself that silence meant absence. Do not keep assuming that because you could not feel me the way you wanted, I must have turned away. Feelings are real, but they are not always accurate maps. There were times when your heart was too bruised to sense what was still holding it. Think of the sun behind thick clouds. You may not see it, but the day is still being lit by it. That is how my presence has been in your life. Hidden at times, but never gone. Active even when unseen. So come here now and let that old lie break off of you. Say it in your heart if you need to. I was not abandoned. Receive that truth. Let it reach the part of you that still expects people, even me, to leave when you are hardest to love. I am not like that. I do not walk out when you are tired, confused, messy, or late. I come closer. I stay longer. I keep watch. So stop punishing yourself for the seasons when you wandered. Stop building distance now because you regret the distance then. Turn around and come near. Open the places in you that still brace for rejection. Let me into the memory of the days when you thought I was gone. I want to show you where my hand was, where my mercy covered you, where my restraint protected you, where my love stayed near when you had no language left for faith. Stay with me here, my child. The moment you realize I never left, your heart will begin to trust again. And once trust returns, healing can move in ways you have not felt in a very long time. My child, there are parts of your story that still confuse you because you only saw what happened on the surface. You saw the delay. You saw the disappointment. You saw the sudden shift, the closed path, the conversation that changed everything, the opportunity that vanished, the relationship that cooled, the plan that fell apart. You saw the visible part and assumed the whole story was lost. But I need you to come closer and let me speak to the part of you that still carries questions. I protected you from things you still do not understand. There were dangers you never recognized because I did not let them fully unfold. There were people who smiled at you while carrying motives that would have drained your peace. There were environments that looked promising but carried hidden fractures. There were decisions you almost made that would have pulled you into seasons of confusion deeper than the one you were already in. You called some of it bad timing. You called some of it unfair. You even called some of it heartbreak. But much of what you lived through was my mercy interrupting what your eyes could not yet discern. Think of a child reaching toward a glowing stove. The child sees light and warmth. The father sees the burn. That is how it has been with you more times than you know. I did not block you to control you. I stepped in because I love you. I moved things. I slowed things. I allowed frustration where greater pain was waiting just ahead. I kept your path from opening too quickly because speed would have delivered you into places your spirit was not prepared to survive. Now I want you to stop calling yourself unlucky and stop treating every interruption as if it was proof that I forgot you. Lift your eyes. Look again. Let me reintroduce you to the hidden mercy that has been following you. There were moments when you should have been pulled deeper into darkness, but something held. There were times when your judgment was clouded, yet the worst outcome never came. There were seasons when one wrong yes could have changed everything, but the door stayed closed. The call never came. The answer never landed. The timing broke apart. That was not always rejection. Sometimes it was rescue so precise that you mistook it for inconvenience. Do not harden your heart against the very hand that has been shielding you. Open your memory and let me show you where I stood between you and destruction. Invite me into those moments you still resent. Ask me what I was protecting. Ask me what I saw that you did not. You do not need every detail to trust my heart, but I will give you enough peace to release the bitterness if you let me. Stop demanding that every act of protection arrive wrapped in immediate understanding. Some forms of mercy are only recognized in hindsight. So breathe. Relax your grip on what you still cannot explain. Let your soul unclench. I have not been careless with your life. I have been watchful, deliberate, near. Even now, while you are still sorting through what happened, I am still guarding what is ahead. Stay close to me. Let me lead you with the wisdom you do not yet have. If you trust me here, even before you understand everything, you will begin to feel something shift inside you. Fear will loosen. Control will soften. And in that surrender, you will start to recognize that my protection has been around you far more often than your pain ever allowed you to see. My child, just as I have protected you from what you could not see, I am now inviting you to help reach those who are still walking toward unseen danger. Your giving becomes a shield, a light, a warning voice that meets them before the fall. I have declared, I will rebuke the devourer for your sake, and when you sow into my work, you step under that covering in a deeper way. Do you feel that pull in your spirit? That is me, calling you to move beyond gratitude into action. Through your super thanks, your membership, or your PayPal offering, the link rests in the description. You help carry my message into places where protection is desperately needed. I will honor what you release. I will guard what concerns you. I will make provision rise where fear once stood. This is not a small act. It is participation in unseen rescue. Do not delay what I am prompting you to do right now. Give, and let your obedience become someone else's preservation. My child, I need you to listen carefully now, because my voice is gentle, but this moment is serious. I am speaking to you now with urgency because delay has become dangerous. I am not saying that to frighten you. I am saying it because I love you enough to tell you the truth before your habits become chains and your numbness becomes normal. You have been postponing things that matter deeply. You have delayed rest, delayed honesty, delayed surrender, delayed healing, delayed the hard conversations inside your own heart. You kept saying, I will deal with it later. I will pray when life calms down. I will return when I feel stronger. I will open up when I understand more. But while you were postponing, the ache deepened. The pattern settled in. The distance grew quieter, and because it became familiar, it started to feel safe. That is the danger. Not that I stopped loving you, but that your heart can slowly become comfortable with living beneath what I created it for. A small crack in a wall may not look urgent at first, but if it is ignored long enough, the whole structure begins to weaken from within. That is what delay does to the soul. It convinces you that nothing is collapsing because everything still looks mostly intact. But I see what is happening beneath the surface. I see the fatigue becoming identity. I see the avoidance becoming routine. I see the compromise becoming easier. I see the silence becoming your default. And because I refuse to let you keep drifting without warning, I'm speaking plainly now. Stop delaying what your spirit already knows needs to change. This is the moment to respond, not later when it feels more convenient, not after one more distraction, not after one more cycle of saying you will get serious tomorrow. Come here now. Bring me the area you keep postponing. Is it forgiveness? Is it repentance? Is it stillness? Is it truth? Is it the part of your life you keep covering with noise because you do not want to face what it has become? Bring it into the light. Do not negotiate with what is quietly draining you. Do not keep calling it not a big deal when it is stealing your peace inch by inch. I am not rushing you because I am impatient. I am calling you because I can see where the road leads if nothing changes. Think of a person walking toward the edge of a cliff while looking down at a glowing screen. The danger is not only the cliff. It is the distraction that keeps them from noticing how close they are. That is why I am interrupting you. That is why I am calling your name more directly now. Put the screen down, spiritually speaking. Lift your eyes. Wake up. Let this be the moment where you stop making peace with what is starving you. Let this be the moment where you stop treating conviction like an inconvenience. Respond while your heart is still soft enough to feel me. Sit with me. Pray honestly. Cut off what is feeding adrift. Like room for what restores you. Choose now. I am not asking for a dramatic performance. I am asking for a real yes. If you give me that, even trembling, even imperfect, I will meet you in it. But do not keep waiting for a better time. This is the time. Stay here, my child. The sooner you answer me, the sooner healing begins to move. My child, before you let fear rise again, I need you to understand the spirit of what I am saying to you. This is not about condemnation. This is not me cornering you, exposing you, or speaking to you with the coldness of a judge waiting for you to fail one more time. This is about coming home. This is about a father who has watched you wander farther than you were meant to go and is now calling you back with open arms, not clenched fists. I know that some part of you still expects punishment when you feel conviction. You have learned from people, from pain, from broken trust, that being called out usually means being pushed away. But with me, being called closer is exactly that, closer. When I put my finger on the places in your life that have grown distant, I am not trying to shame you for where you have been. I am trying to guide you toward where your peace still lives. I am not interested in humiliating you. I want to restore you. I am not speaking to remind you how far you drifted. I am speaking because I want to walk you back without making you carry the weight of every wrong step. Think of a child who has gotten lost in a crowd. When the father finally finds that child, he does not begin with accusation. He wedges. He gathers. He steady. He brings the child back into safety. That is what I am doing with you now. So stop bracing for rejection. Stop expecting me to treat your return like a courtroom scene. Come closer. Let yourself be found. You do not need to make yourself worthy before you come back to me. You do not need to clean up every thought, fix every habit, untangle every emotion, or prove how sorry you are before you let me near. Come as you are, not as the version of you that looks more acceptable. Bring me the real you, the tired you, the ashamed you, the confused you, the emotionally tangled you, the part of you that still does not know how to trust fully again. Bring me that version. That is the one I am calling home. I do not need your performance. I want your presence. I do not need a polished apology. I want your honest heart. So stop rehearsing speeches in your mind about why you stayed away. Stop assuming I need an explanation before I will embrace you. I already know. I saw the fear. I saw the pain. I saw the coping. I saw the pride. I saw the loneliness beneath it all. And still I am here, saying, come home. Open the door you have kept shut inside yourself. Let me into the rooms you thought disqualified you. Sit with me in the mess, and let me show you what grace actually feels like when it is allowed to touch the places you were certain would be rejected. This is your invitation. Take it seriously, but do not fear it. Walk toward me now. Let your defenses drop. Let your heart soften. Let your return begin in this moment, not as a grand display, but as a simple yes whispered from a soul that is finally tired of being far away. I will meet you there, and I will not shame you for coming back. I will rejoice that you did. My child, one of the deepest lies that has kept you distant is the belief that you must become better before you come near me. You have thought that if you could just fix a few things first, if you could just get your emotions under control, clean up your habits, stop struggling in the same places, become more consistent, more disciplined, more worthy, then maybe you could return with confidence. But that is not what I have been asking of you. I am not asking for your perfection. I am asking for your attention. I am not standing at the door of your life with a checklist in my hand. I am standing there with my hand extended, waiting for you to stop running long enough to take it. I know what is unfinished in you. I know where you still stumble. I know the places that embarrass you, the thoughts that frustrate you, the patterns you have promised yourself you would break and then found yourself repeating. None of that surprises me. None of that makes me step back. What keeps you farther than your flaws is your hiding. What delays healing more than your weakness is your belief that you must heal yourself before I am allowed into the room. That is not how this works, my child. Think of a patient refusing to see the doctor until they are already well. That makes no sense, yet that is what you have been doing with your soul. You have been postponing closeness until you feel ready, when readiness is not what I require. Openness is what I require. So stop waiting to become impressive. Turn toward me as you are. Give me your attention now. Not half of it. Not the leftover part after every distraction has taken its share. Give me your real attention. Sit with me without pretending. Pray without trying to sound spiritual. Speak plainly. Tell me what is true. Tell me where you are angry. Tell me where you are ashamed. Tell me where you are tired of fighting. Tell me what you do not understand. Invite me into the actual condition of your heart, not the edited version. I can work with honesty. I can heal what is uncovered, but I will not force my way into the parts you keep performing over. I am not moved by appearances the way people are. I am moved by surrender. And surrender is not dramatic. Sometimes it is just a quiet moment where you stop managing your image and say, "Here I am." That is enough to begin. That is enough for me to enter places you thought would stay closed forever. So release the burden of trying to become enough in your own strength. Stop making your flaws the center of the story. I am greater than what you are struggling with. Give me your focus. Give me your listening. Give me the next few honest moments without reaching for escape. Let this be the shift. Choose attention over avoidance. Choose closeness over performance. Choose truth over image. If you do that, you will discover something that changes everything. I was never waiting for a perfected version of you. I was waiting for the real you to stop hiding. Stay with me now, my child. This is where healing gets permission to begin. My child, I want you to do something that may feel unfamiliar now, but it is the doorway back to what your soul has been missing. Become still, not just outwardly, but inwardly. I know how quickly your mind moves. I know how easily your thoughts race ahead, how often your emotions rise before you can sort them, how naturally you reach for something, anything, to avoid sitting too long in silence. But I am asking you now, gently and firmly, to stop. Be still with me. Do not fill this moment with another distraction. Do not rush to the next thing. Stay here. Breathe slowly. Let the noise settle. Let the tension in your shoulders ease. Let the need to solve everything right now loosen its grip. Because if you will become still, you will begin to recognize me again. My voice has not vanished from your life. Your heart has simply been crowded. My presence has not moved away from you. You have just been moving too fast to notice what has been quietly surrounding you. Think of a lake after a storm. When the wind is strong, the surface is broken and you cannot see what lies beneath. But when the wind calms, the water clears, and what was always there becomes visible again. That is what stillness does for your soul. It does not create my presence. It reveals it. I have been here. I have been near. I have been speaking in ways that could only be heard by a heart willing to stop long enough to listen. So do not be afraid of the quiet. Step into it. Let it hold you instead of threaten you. When you become still, you will begin to notice things you have been missing. You will notice the peace that comes without explanation. You will notice the soft conviction that does not condemn, but gently redirects. You will notice the warmth in your spirit when truth touches the places you have been hiding. You will notice how some thoughts carry heaviness and urgency, while my voice carries clarity even when it challenges you. That is how you will know me again. Not through panic, not through pressure, not through confusion. My voice may be direct, but it does not scatter you. It gathers you. So come now. Sit with me, even if it feels awkward at first. Close the door for a few moments. Put the noise away. Lay down the need to perform. Tell me I am here. That is enough to begin. If tears come, let them come. If silence comes, do not run from it. If uncomfortable things rise to the surface, do not assume something is wrong. Sometimes that is what happens when healing begins to move. I am not absent in those moments. I am closer than ever. Stay with me longer than your discomfort wants you to. Let your heart relearn what safety feels like in my presence. Invite me into the stillness instead of fear and what it might uncover. You have spent too long living from reaction. Let me teach you how to live from communion. Let me steady what hath been frantic. Let me soften what hath been hard. Let me reintroduce you to the sound of my nearness. If you will give me this stillness, even in small pieces, you will find that I am not hard to find. I am the one who has been waiting in the quiet all along, ready to be recognized the moment you finally stop and stay. My child, in the stillness where you are beginning to recognize me again, I am awakening something deeper within you, a desire to be part of what I am doing beyond your own life. Just as quiet waters reveal my presence, your giving becomes a river that carries that presence to thirsty souls. I whisper to you even now, freely you have received, freely give, and this is your moment to respond. When you sow through your super thanks, your membership, or your PayPal gift, the link is in the description. You are pouring oil into a lamp that will not go out. I will meet you in your obedience with peace that steadies you and provision that surprises you. Do not let this stillness end without movement. What you feel is not meant to remain unexpressed. This is sacred ground, and your response matters. Let your giving rise from this quiet place as a holy offering. Act now, and let your seed flow where my spirit is leading. My child, there are places inside you that almost no one has seen. You have learned how to keep them covered because life taught you that exposed pain can be misunderstood, ignored, or used against you. So you built hidden rooms in your heart. You dug certain memories away. You buried certain disappointments. You locked away certain fears because you believed that if anyone saw how deeply those things affected you, they might look at you differently. I know about those places. I know the wound from the words that were spoken over you when you were already fragile. I know the betrayal you still replay in quiet moments. I know the rejection you pretend you have moved past while it still shapes how close you let people come. I know the shame you carry from choices you wish you could erase. I know the parts of you that flinch before anyone can even touch them because pain has made you expect harm before comfort. And I need you to hear me clearly now. I want to heal those places, not just the parts of your life that are visible, manageable, or easy to talk about. I want to touch the hidden ache. I want to enter the rooms you keep locked. I want to bring light into the corners of your heart where hurt has been sitting so long that it has started to feel like identity. That pain is not who you are, my child. That wound may have shaped you, but it does not get to name you. Open the door. Do not keep protecting what is poisoning your peace. Let me in. Healing will ask something of you. It will ask for honesty. It will ask for trust. It will ask you to stop calling your walls wisdom when some of them are simply fear that has had time to settle in. I know you are tired of being hurt. I know you do not want to revisit what cut you so deeply. But I am not asking you to relive pain so it can wound you again. I am asking you to bring it to me so it can lose its power. Think of a splinter buried under skin. As long as it stays hidden, the body keeps reacting to it. It swells. It aches. It stays tender. But once it is brought into the light and removed, healing can begin. That is what I want to do in you. Bring me the memory you avoid. Bring me the name that still stirs anger or grief. Bring me the shame you have hidden behind competence, humor, busyness, or silence. Do not edit it. Do not minimize it. Tell me the truth. Say what it did to you. Say how it changed you. Say where it still hurts. I can handle what you have been afraid to face. Sit with me in that vulnerable place and let my love reach deeper than your defenses. Let my truth interrupt the lies those wounds planted. Let me show you that you are not what happened to you. You are not the rejection. You are not the betrayal. You are not the mistake. You are my child. Stay here and let that identity settle deeper than the pain ever did. If you let me touch what you have hidden, I will not rush you and I will not shame you. I will heal you layer by layer, gently and fully, until the places you once hid become places where my peace now lives. My child, I want you to understand what happens when you truly return to me, because I know part of you still wonders whether anything can really change. You have lived with certain weights for so long that they started to feel permanent. You have carried patterns that seemed too rooted, thoughts that seemed too familiar, emotions that kept circling back until you began to believe this was simply who you are now. But hear me carefully and let this settle into your spirit. If you return to me, your life will not stay the same. I am not speaking only about what people can see on the outside. I am speaking first about what begins to shift within you. When you come back to me with your real heart, I begin restoring what life wore down. I steady what has been unstable. I quiet what has been racing. I soften what has become hard from disappointment. I untangle what has been knotted by fear, shame, and exhaustion. You may still wake up in the same house, walk into the same responsibilities, face some of the same practical realities for a time, but you will not be facing them as the same person. That is where change begins. It starts in the hidden places. It starts where panic used to rise first. It starts where insecurity used to make your decisions. It starts where pain used to speak louder than truth. Let me in there, my child. Do not wait for perfect conditions. Return now. Come close now. Bring me your habits, your wounds, your fatigue, your distractions, your doubts. Lay them before me and watch what happens when my presence begins to move through the places you thought were too damaged to recover. This change will not be built on hype. It will be built on transformation. I am not offering you a temporary emotional lift that fades when the moment passes. I am offering you a different way of living. I will give you clarity where confusion has been driving you. I will give you peace that remains even when circumstances still need time to change. I will give you discernment where you used to react from impulse. I will restore your ability to hear me without fear. I will teach you how to walk without carrying everything as if your life depends only on your strength. Think of a room that has been shut up for years. Stale air, heavy dust, darkness in every corner. The moment the windows are opened, fresh air begins to move, light enters, and what felt dead starts to breathe again. That is what happens when you return to me. So do not keep telling yourself nothing will change. Stop speaking hopelessness over a future I am ready to touch. Stop bowing to the memory of who you were in your worst seasons. Stand up now. Open the windows. Let me breathe into your life again. Say close when the process feels unfamiliar. Keep coming back when old patterns try to pull you. Invite me into the ordinary moments, not only the desperate ones. If you do, you will look back and realize that the life you feared would never move has already begun to change. Your peace will deepen. Your heart will strengthen. Your choices will become clearer. Your soul will become lighter. And what once felt impossible will slowly become the evidence that I was never asking for a small adjustment. I was inviting you into renewal. My child, do not treat this as just another emotional moment that passes and gets buried under the next distraction. This is your turning point if you say yes. I want you to feel the weight of that, not as pressure, but as holy opportunity. There are moments in life that carry more than ordinary time. They look simple on the outside, but deep within them, something eternal is being offered. This is one of those moments for you. You are standing at a real intersection right now. Behind you is the version of life where you keep delaying, keep numbing, keep circling the same pain, keep telling yourself you will change later while the same patterns quietly keep taking from you. In front of you is something different. In front of you is the beginning of peace that does not depend on perfect conditions. In front of you is the first honest step back into closeness, back into clarity, back into the kind of life your soul has been aching for even when you could not explain it. But I will not force you across that line. I am inviting you. I am calling you. I am asking you to answer with something simple and real. Yes. Yes, I will stop running. Yes, I will stop hiding. Yes, I will stop calling delay wisdom. Yes, I will stop giving my best attention to everything except the one who made me. Say yes in your heart now. Whisper it if you need to. Speak it quietly if your voice shakes. But do not leave this moment undecided. Decide. Choose. Respond. The turning point is not always loud. Sometimes it is a quiet surrender that changes the direction of an entire life. Think of a ship that has been drifting off course for miles. A small correction at the wheel may look minor in the moment, but over time it changes the destination completely. That is what your yes can do right now. It may feel small. It may not look dramatic. But it carries power because it opens the door for me to lead you differently from here. Your yes tells me you are ready to stop defending what is hurting you. Your yes tells me you are willing to let truth enter the places where excuses have been living. Your yes tells me that even if you are still afraid, you are more tired of distance than you are afraid of change. So come now, my child. Do not overcomplicate this. You do not need a perfect speech. You do not need to understand every step ahead. You need willingness. You need surrender. You need the courage to stop pretending that another later will fix what only obedience can heal. Let this be the moment you remember. Let this be the day you stopped circling and started returning. Let this be the line between the life that kept draining you and the life I am ready to rebuild with you. Stay with me. Keep your heart open. Give me your yes before fear starts bargaining again. If you do, you will discover that this was not just a moving message. This was the moment your soul changed direction, and I was already waiting on the other side of that decision to walk with you into what comes next. My child, now that you have come this far, do not rush away from this moment as if it was only meant to stir your emotions for a few minutes and then disappear into the noise again. Stay with me now. Do not walk away the same. I am asking you for something simple, but sacred. Remain here a little longer. Let these words go deeper than your thoughts. Let them reach the places inside you that have been waiting for permission to soften. You have heard me call you. You have felt me uncover what had been hidden. You have sensed that this was not random, not ordinary, not empty. So do not close your heart now just because the hardest part is over. This is where your response begins. This is where your healing becomes personal. This is where what stirred inside you becomes something more than a feeling. Come closer. Breathe slowly. Put down the urge to move on too quickly. Resist the instinct to scroll, distract yourself, or return to the habits that kept you numb. Today, sit with me in this moment and let it become holy ground between you and me. I am not asking you to carry all of tomorrow right now. I am asking you to give me this moment fully. Give me your attention. Give me your honest yes. Give me your willingness to let this encounter leave a mark on the way you live from this point forward. If your heart feels tender, do not harden it. If tears rise, let them come. If conviction is stirring, do not argue with it. If peace is beginning to settle, do not rush past it. Receive it. Let it rest on you. Let it reach deeper than your fear. And now listen carefully, my child, because this is what I want you to do. Open your hands, even if only in your heart. Release what you have been gripping so tightly. Give me the shame. Give me the delay. Give me the exhaustion. Give me the hidden pain. Give me the parts of you that still feel uncertain, guarded, or afraid. Do not carry them back out of this moment with you. Leave them here with me. Then rise differently. Walk away with a wider spirit. Walk away with a real decision made. Walk away knowing that you are not returning to the same emptiness that brought you here. Think of a doorway standing open after a long winter, fresh air moving into a house that has been shut too long. That is what this moment can be if you let it. Step through it. Do not stand at the threshold and hesitate until the old patterns call you back. Move with me. Pray when this ends. Sit in silence for a few extra minutes. Speak to me plainly. Tell me, I am staying with you now. Let that be your beginning. Let that be your turning point sealed. And remember this as you leave this moment. I am not sending you back alone. I am going with you. I will meet you in the quiet, in the choices, in the resistance, in the healing, in the next step, and the one after that. So do not walk away the same, my child. Walk away suffered. Walk away. Walk away knowing that you were reached, you were heard, and you were lovingly called back, and this time, you answered. My child, as you choose not to walk away the same, seal this moment with an act that carries your yes beyond words. What has touched your heart here is not meant to fade. It is meant to multiply through you into the lives of others still waiting to be reached. I have spoken. Honor me with your substance, and your barns will be filled, and I stand over that promise even now. When you give through Super Thanks, step into membership, or offer through PayPal, the link is in the description. You are stepping through the doorway I have opened for impact. This is your moment to turn encounter into action, stirring into sowing, calling into commission. I will bless what you release. I will guard what you entrust to me, and I will cause it to return as favor, strength, and increase. Do not hesitate at the threshold. Move with me. Give now, and let this be the moment you truly answered my call. Before you leave, do this with faith. Comment, Father, I am listening now if this message found you at the exact moment you needed it. Do not scroll away and treat this like just another video, because if these words reached your heart, then this was not random. This was your moment to answer. Let your comment become your declaration that you will not ignore his voice another evening. Write it boldly, write it personally, and let heaven witness your yes. Father, I am listening now. If this message was for you, seal it with your words and step into the turning point he placed in front of you today. And as you make that declaration, understand that listening is more than hearing words. It is choosing to remain present when I begin to speak to the deepest places of your heart. You have said that you are listening now, so stay with me a little longer. Do not hurry back into the distractions that have been competing for your attention all day. There is a reason this message reached you when it did, and there is a reason your spirit has not moved on yet. I have been preparing this moment long before you arrived here, arranging a quiet space between your worries and your responsibilities so that my voice could meet you without interruption. What comes next is not an accident, and it is not for someone else. It is a personal invitation from my heart to yours. I have waited for this exact moment to speak with you. You are sitting there, feeling the weight of the day finally catch up to your tired bones. I see you. I see the exact moment the sun begins to dip below the horizon, and I use this fading light to reach out to you. This evening is not just the end of your day. It is a sacred time of reflection, a divine appointment I set just for us. I designed the twilight as a quiet pause before a storm breaks, a necessary, heavy silence where my voice can finally break through the loud, demanding noise of your daily burdens. You carry so much, my child. I see the specific things that weigh heavily on your heart right now. I see your intense fear of the future, looming like a dark cloud over your tomorrow. I watch the relentless pressure at your job draining your energy hour by hour, leaving you feeling empty. I feel the unspoken tensions in your family, the silent words that hang in the air and hurt your spirit. I know that deep, aching feeling of being completely overlooked, as if your daily efforts vanish into thin air. Do you feel that knot in your stomach? A tight, anxious grip holding you hostage right now? That isn't from me. Let's undo it together. Take a deep breath right now. Breathe in my presence just like the deep breath you take before you face a steep challenge. Exhale your exhaustion. Exhale your striving. I am here. I am your creator, and my patience for you is absolutely endless. I have watched you rush from task to task since the morning, trying to hold your entire world together with your own two hands. I allowed the sun to set today so you would finally have to stop. I wait for you every single evening, longing for your attention. I wait for the busy, chaotic noise of the world to fade so you can clearly recognize my voice calling your name in the stillness. Look at the setting sun, or picture it in your mind. As the sky turns dark and the shadows lengthen, remember the powerful symbolism of this hour. As the sun sets on your efforts, my mercy is actively rising to meet you. Your mistakes from this morning are already gone. Your missteps from the afternoon are completely washed away. You absolutely do not need to carry today's failures into tomorrow. I use the profound stillness of this dusk to reach directly into your weary heart. I use it to remind you that you are deeply loved, profoundly valued, and never, ever forgotten. I am stepping into your room, into your quiet space, sitting right beside you to share this moment. Give me your heavy thoughts. Hand over the crushing pressure that tells you to do more, be more, and fix everything around you. You cannot fix it all, but I can. I handle the impossible. I want you to feel the physical reality of my presence wrapping around you, much like a warm, heavy blanket against the evening chill. I am speaking plainly and directly to you because I want you to truly understand. Your life is not a series of random, painful struggles. I am right here with you in the middle of your messy, real, everyday life. Listen carefully to the silence of this twilight. Do you hear it? It is my gentle whisper, cutting straight through your loudest worry. I am inviting you to rest your mind. I am commanding the furious storm in your thoughts to be perfectly still. You are safe now. You are securely held. I have pursued you tirelessly through the entire day, through every chore, every argument, and every silent tear. And now, in this quiet evening hour, I finally have your attention. Stay here with me. Let my rising mercy wash over your tired soul, and know with absolute certainty that you are completely, perfectly mine. I know you are profoundly weary tonight. Your weariness goes far deeper than just needing a few hours of physical sleep. Your very soul feels tired. You are carrying a remarkably heavy yoke, and you have been dragging it all by yourself for far too long. I watched you wake up this morning. I saw you instantly put the immense weight of your world squarely onto your own shoulders before your feet even touched the floor. You started your day not resting in my peace, but with a frantic, running mental checklist of every single thing you had to fix, manage, outrun, and survive. You carried the intense pressure of your job today, terrified of falling behind or being judged as not enough. You carried the heavy, unspoken tensions in your home, trying to keep everyone else happy while you felt completely drained and empty inside. You carried the silent, creeping fear of your future, wondering how you will pay the bills or how you will fix what is broken. Stop carrying all of this. I command you to put it down. I never asked you to be the savior of your own life. I never intended for you to bear this crushing weight alone. I purposely allowed the day to end so that you must finally stop. I designed the sun to go down so that your endless striving would be forced to pause. I want you to find your absolute, complete rest in me right now. Your struggles are deeply real to me, and I validate every single tear you have held back today. My word tells you to come to me when you are weary and burdened, and I promise that I will give you rest. I am not speaking a poetic metaphor to you tonight. I am making a literal, binding promise to your heart. You feel incredibly weak right now. You feel like you simply do not have what it takes to face tomorrow. That is perfectly fine with me. The true, breathtaking beauty of your human frailty is that it creates the exact space needed for my divine, unstoppable strength to enter. I do not need you to be strong. I only need you to be mine. You must surrender your endless, demanding to-do list to the great I am. Look at the tasks you did not finish today. Look at the complex problems you could not solve. Hand them over to me right this second. I command you to release your tight, anxious grip on your schedule, your financial worries, and your desperate need to control every outcome. Let go of the illusion of control. It is only making you sick with anxiety. Trust deeply that your utter exhaustion is actually the sacred doorway to my perfect peace. When you finally stop fighting, when you finally admit out loud that you cannot do it all, I can fully step in. I am stepping in right now. I am lifting the heavy, suffocating burden off your chest. I am breathing fresh, calming life directly into your tired lungs. You are allowed to stop working. You are allowed to stop worrying. You are allowed to just be my precious child. Rest in the absolute, concrete certainty that I am holding your entire world together, even while you sleep. I see the moments from today when you felt completely alone. I know there were hours when you looked at your circumstances and silently wondered if I had forgotten you. You walked through dark shadows today. You faced moments of sudden panic about your finances. You faced sharp, stinging rejections that made you question your worth. You faced the heavy shadow of a medical worry or a family crisis that loomed over you like a dark storm cloud. In those exact moments, you felt abandoned. But I tell you now, I was standing closer to you than your own breath. You must see my divine providence in the very moments you thought you were completely on your own. I am the Good Shepherd from Psalm 23, and I walked with you through every single valley of shadows today. The shadows were terrifying to you, but they were nothing to me, because I am the light that darkness cannot overcome. I actively guided your steps today when your path was painfully unclear. When you did not know what to say in that difficult conversation, it was my Holy Spirit who gave you the exact words. When you avoided an accident, or when a delay kept you from stepping into a worse situation, that was my protective hand moving invisibly in your life. I command you to look back at your day right now. Look past the frustrations and see the tiny, miraculous ways I protected you while you were completely unaware. You thought it was just coincidence that a friend texted you at the exact moment you felt like giving up. It was not a coincidence. It was me, whispering to you through them. I use the quiet whispers of the Holy Spirit to guide you, but you are often too distracted by the loud noise of your anxiety to hear me. I want you to recognize the hard, undeniable evidence of my grace in your most recent trials. You thought the pressure of this past week would finally break you, but look at yourself. You are still standing. You are still breathing. You are still here. I sustain you. I kept your mind from completely unraveling when the stress was at its absolute highest. I guarded your heart when the enemy tried to plant bitter seeds of deep despair. You must realize that my hand has never left you, even when the room is totally dark and your fears are screaming at you. I am the silent, powerful guard standing at the door of your mind. I invite you to stop looking at the shadows and start looking at my hands. My hands are scarred with love for you, and they are firmly gripping yours. You have never walked a single step of this painful journey alone, and you never will. I am here. I am watching. I am fiercely protecting you. I want to reveal the absolute, unending depth of my heart to you tonight. You often imagine me as a distant, angry boss waiting for you to make a mistake. You picture me keeping a strict scorecard of your daily failures. I command you to erase that false image from your mind immediately. I am your loving Father, and my love for you is fiercely unconditional. It does not depend on your performance today. It does not waver when you lose your temper, when you doubt my goodness, or when you completely fail to meet your own expectations. My love for you is a roaring fire that cannot be put out by your human mistakes. I never, ever tire of seeking a deep, personal relationship with you. While you are busy running away from me in shame, I am constantly running toward you with open arms. I did not endure the agonizing sacrifice of the cross just so you could follow a boring list of religious rules. I did not shed my blood so you could sit in a building once a week and pretend your life is perfect. I went to the cross as the ultimate, desperate act of reaching out to you. I did it to tear down every single wall that stood between us. I desire absolute intimacy with you over any empty religious ritual. I want your honest, messy, broken heart. I want you to talk to me about your frustration with your job. I want you to cry to me about the loneliness you feel even when you are in a crowded room. I view your life entirely through the tender, compassionate eyes of your Creator. Where the world sees a tired, struggling person who is falling behind, I see my magnificent masterpiece. I see the incredible potential I placed inside of you before you were even born. I feel immense, overwhelming joy when you finally stop looking at your problems and turn your gaze directly toward me. When you look up, even for a split second, all of heaven rejoices. I want you to feel the warmth of my absolute approval right now. You do not have to earn my attention. You already have it completely. I am inviting you to stop performing for me. Stop trying to clean yourself up before you come to me. Come to me dirty. Come to me exhausted. Come to me filled with doubts. Yes, come. Look deeply into my eyes tonight and see the relentless, passionate love of a Father who would move heaven and earth just to hear you say my name. You are my beloved child, and there is absolutely nothing in this world that could ever make me love you any less than I do right in this exact moment. I see the heavy burden of regret you are holding as this day comes to a close. You are replaying the mistakes you made over and over in your tired mind. You are agonizing over the moment you lost your patience and snapped at someone you love. You are regretting the hours you wasted, the goals you did not reach, and the opportunities you let slip through your fingers. You are drowning in the toxic guilt of the could-haves and the should-haves. I command you to stop torturing yourself. I command you to let it all go right now. A gift of my total forgiveness is waiting for you at the close of this day. I do not want you carrying a single drop of today's guilt into tomorrow's sunrise. I am washing away your guilt right now. Picture your mistakes as heavy, dirty stones in your hands. Now, open your hands and let them drop to the floor. I'm taking them away. My mercies are completely new every single morning, but they are also available to you right now, in the quiet of this evening. I do not keep a permanent record of your minor stumbles. I do not hold your daily flaws over your head. I invite you to leave your sins, your harsh words, and your selfish moments right here at the foot of my altar tonight. The altar is not a piece of furniture. It is this exact space where you and I are meeting right now. Hand the ugly parts of your day over to me. I can handle them. You must find total freedom from the punishing voice in your head that tells you that you are a constant failure. That voice is a liar. It is not my voice. When I look at you, I do not see the mistakes you made at noon. I see the absolute, shining purity that I purchased for you with my own life. I see you washed completely clean. Embrace this profound, unearned grace. Refuse to let the enemy use today's missteps to ruin your peace tonight. I have already forgiven you. Now, I am asking you to do the hardest part. I am asking you to forgive yourself. Release the tight knot of disappointment in your stomach. Breathe out the shame. Inhale my total acceptance. Tomorrow is a completely blank page, and I will be there waiting for you, full of grace, ready to help you try again. But for tonight, the work is done. The mistakes are erased. You are deeply loved, entirely forgiven, and completely clean. Since I have washed away the heavy stains of your past tonight, I am inviting you to step into a future built on my divine generosity. Just as I have reached out to pull you from the shadows of regret, I am calling you to reach out and help me rescue others who are still drowning in the dark. Your gift tonight is a seed of pure light, planted in the fertile soil of my kingdom to ensure this message of mercy reaches every broken heart crying out in the twilight. When you sow into this mission through super thanks or the links below, you are not just giving. You are actively breaking the chains of despair for a soul you haven't met yet. I will open the windows of heaven over your life, pouring out a blessing so massive that your storehouses will overflow with the oil of joy. Do not let this sacred moment of release pass you by without planting a seed of gratitude. I command you to honor the freedom I have given you tonight by becoming a conduit of my grace through your support right now. Do not turn away now, my child, for my heart is wide open and I have so much more to pour into your weary soul. It would deeply grieve me to see you walk away right now, leaving our conversation unfinished and carrying half-healed wounds back into the dark. I have orchestrated this divine encounter specifically for you, and to stop now would be to reject the very breakthrough I am holding in my hands. Stay with me a little longer. Do not let the enemy steal this moment of transformation before I have finished making you whole. My spirit is yearning to lead you deeper, and it would be a profound loss to my heart if you closed your ears before my work in you is complete. I want to build a deep, untouchable sanctuary within your heart right now. You spend your entire day living in the loud, demanding, outside world. You constantly wear heavy masks to protect yourself. You wear the I am perfectly fine mask for your coworkers. You wear the I am strong mask for your family. You wear the I have it all together mask for your friends. I command you to take every single one of those masks off right now. You do not need them here. You are stepping into the secret, intimate place of my presence. This sanctuary is not a physical building made of bricks and wood. It is the quiet, sacred space right where you are sitting, where my spirit meets your spirit. I invite you to enter into a state of deep, honest worship in these evening hours. Worship is not just singing a psalm. It is the raw, vulnerable act of laying your tired soul bare before me. It is letting down your defensive walls. I want you to experience the tangible, physical warmth of the Holy Spirit wrapping around you right now. Feel the tension physically leaving your neck and your shoulders. Feel your heart rate begin to slow down. I am actively pouring out a peace that completely transcends all of your human understanding. You do not have to figure out how tomorrow will work before you can feel this peace. This peace defies your logic. It anchors you deeply to the ground even when the fierce winds of your life are howling outside. You are completely safe here under the massive, protective shadow of my wings. The world cannot touch you in this secret place. Your demanding boss cannot reach you here. Your financial fears cannot enter this room. Your critics are entirely silenced by the sheer power of my love for you. I am your absolute refuge. I am your fortress. I am the solid rock you can stand on when everything else feels like sinking sand. Stay here in this sanctuary with me for a moment. Do not rush to the next task. Do not grab your phone to check out of reality. Stay entirely present in this exact moment with me. Let my presence soak into your weary bones like a healing balm. Let me remind you of who you truly are. Not a worker, not a problem solver, not a failure, but my dearly loved, perfectly protected child. Rest securely in this divine sanctuary tonight, knowing that I am fiercely standing guard over your mind, your heart, and your life. I know how much you hate the silence. I see you sitting there, crying out to me, begging for a clear sign, a loud voice, or a sudden, dramatic change in your painful circumstances. You look at the unpaid bills, the broken relationships, and the deep uncertainty of your future, and you ask me why I am not saying anything. You feel completely ignored. You feel as though your desperate prayers are hitting a brick wall and bouncing right back onto the floor. I command you to stop listening to the lie that my silence means my absence. My silence is never a punishment. It is a profound, intentional, and necessary preparation for your heart. I sometimes wait for the loud, chaotic world to go entirely quiet because your mind is too crowded to hear me otherwise. You are constantly surrounded by the relentless noise of television, the endless scrolling on your phone, the demanding voices of your coworkers, and the screaming panic of your own insecurities. If I spoke into that deafening storm, my words would simply become more noise. I wait for this evening hour. I wait for the stillness. I wait until you have no other choice but to sit with me in the quiet. I am inviting you to learn a completely new way of listening to me tonight. You must learn to listen when I do not use loud, booming words. I speak powerfully through the sudden, unexplainable peace that settles in your chest. I speak through the gentle, steady conviction that tells you to hold on just a little bit longer. I speak through the sudden clarity you feel when you finally stop forcing a solution and surrender the problem to me. You are desperately searching for a roadmap, but I am giving you a compass. The tremendous strength you are looking for is found right here, in the difficult, uncomfortable act of waiting upon the Lord. I know your flesh wants immediate answers. You want the medical test results right now. You want the job offer today. You want the broken marriage fixed by tomorrow morning. But I command you to trust my timing even when it feels like a painful, agonizing delay. Understand this very clearly. The delay in your life is never a denial from my throne. I am actively working in the invisible realm while you are waiting in the visible one. I am aligning people, shifting circumstances, and preparing the exact path you need to walk. Discerning my perfect will in the stillness of this night requires you to stop demanding your own way. You must let go of your rigid timeline. Surrender your desperate need to know exactly what happens next week or next year. You do not need to know the future. You only need to know the one who holds it. I use this quiet, frustrating silence to carefully till the hard soil of your heart. I am breaking up the hardened clumps of your self-reliance and your stubborn pride. I am making you entirely dependent on me. This profound silence is not an empty void. It is the heavy, pregnant pause right before I speak a brand new revelation into your life. Embrace the quiet tonight. Stop fighting the stillness. Sit here with me, completely silent, and let my unspoken presence assure you that I am in total control. As the sun sets, and the physical darkness creeps into your room, I see the spiritual darkness trying to creep into your mind. The evening hours are often a brutal battlefield for you. The moment you lay your head on the pillow, the enemy launches a vicious, calculated attack against your peace. I watch as the quiet of your bedroom is suddenly shattered by a barrage of terrifying what-if scenarios. Your heart starts racing. Your chest feels tight. You are suddenly assaulted by the lies of inadequacy, the harsh voices telling you that you are a terrible parent, a failure in your career, a burden to your friends, and a massive disappointment to me. I command you to stand up in your spirit right now. Do not accept these lies. Do not tolerate this mental abuse for one more second. I am actively protecting your mind from the enemy's evening attacks, but you must choose to put on the armor I have given you. You cannot fight a spiritual battle with physical exhaustion. I invite you to purposefully meditate on my sacred scriptures before you even close your eyes tonight. Do not let the news cycle or the chaotic noise of social media be the last thing that feeds your brain. Let my eternal and changing word be the final voice you hear. Wrap the heavy, protective belt of truth tightly around your waist. The truth is not what your bank account says. The truth is not what your critics say. The truth is exactly what I say about you. I say you are completely forgiven. I say you are deeply loved. I say you are firmly held in the palm of my hand, and absolutely nothing can snatch you out of it. When the feeling of overwhelming inadequacy tries to choke you, grab hold of that truth and refuse to let it go. You must aggressively use the massive shield of faith to quench every single fiery dart of worry that flies at you. Faith is not a blind, foolish feeling. It is the concrete, absolute decision to trust my character over your current circumstances. When a dart of financial panic hits your mind, hold up your shield and declare that I am your provider. When a dart of intense loneliness strikes your heart, hold up your shield and declare that I am the friend who sticks closer than a brother. I want you to rest deeply in the absolute, ironclad security of your salvation tonight. Your position in my kingdom is not fragile. It is not based on your perfect performance today. It is entirely based on the finished, bloody work of the cross. You do not have to earn your sleep. You do not have to strive for your rest. The immense, undeniable power of my word is here right now to calm your restless, frantic spirit. Speak my promises out loud into the empty space of your room. Let the sound of my truth physically push the heavy anxiety out of your atmosphere. You are a fiercely protected warrior in my kingdom, and the enemy has absolutely no legal right to terrorize your mind tonight. Rest in my authority. Rest in my strength. Let my word be the unbreakable fortress that guards your mind until the morning light breaks. Look at your life through my eyes for just a moment. I see you constantly measuring your own value by the cruel, unforgiving yardsticks of this world. You weigh your worth by the amount of money in your bank account, the title on your office door, the physical shape of your body, and the fleeting approval of people who do not even truly know you. You feel like you are drastically falling behind. You look at others and feel a deep, sickening sense of being entirely ordinary and terribly unaccomplished. I command you to reject the world's empty definition of success right now. I completely refute their shallow metrics. You must remember exactly who you are, and more importantly, whose you are. I am reminding you tonight that you are fearfully, wonderfully, and highly intentionally made. You are not an accident. You are not an afterthought. I did not assemble you on a mass production line. I carefully crafted every single detail of your personality, your quirks, and your passions. You must fully grasp your monumental identity as a direct heir to the heavenly throne. You are royalty walking on this earth. Why are you begging for the cheap, temporary scraps of human validation when you have full, unrestricted access to the absolute riches of my kingdom? You do not need the applause of your coworkers to validate your existence. You do not need a perfect relationship to prove that you are lovable. The specific, powerful purpose I have etched deeply into your soul cannot be bought, sold, or stolen. I have given you a divine assignment that no one else in human history can fulfill. Your life is not a meaningless cycle of waking up, working, paying bills, and going to sleep. You are strategically placed exactly where you are, in that specific job, in that specific family, in that specific neighborhood, to be a blazing beacon of my intense light. I want you to know exactly why you are precious enough for me to pursue tirelessly. I pursue you when you are running from me. I pursue you when you are drowning in your own shame. I do this because you carry my very image. You are a priceless masterpiece, and I will never abandon my own handiwork. I am actively celebrating the unique, powerful gifts I have placed entirely within you. You might think your gifts are too small. You might think your ability to listen, your quiet empathy, or your talent for organizing is insignificant compared to the loud, flashy talents you see on a stage. You are completely wrong. I use the quiet, steady faithfulness of my people to literally change the course of history. Stop apologizing for who you are not, and start boldly stepping into who I created you to be. Your absolute worth is settled forever. It was paid for in full by blood on a wooden cross. You do not have to hustle for your value. You simply have to accept it, stand tall in it, and walk in the supreme confidence of a child who is unconditionally loved by the Creator of the universe. I see the deep, jagged wounds you try so desperately to hide from the world. I see the painful emotional scars you cover up with a forced smile and a busy schedule. You carry the heavy, burning sting of betrayals from people you trusted completely. You carry the agonizing weight of shattered dreams, the goals that fell apart, the marriage that broke, the career path that suddenly dead-ended. You think you have to be totally strong. You think you have to sweep the broken glass of your life under the rug and just keep moving forward. I command you to stop pretending right now. I invite you to bring every single one of your hidden, bleeding wounds entirely into my brilliant, exposing light. You cannot heal what you refuse to reveal. I am not afraid of your anger. I am not disgusted by your profound sadness. I am the great physician, and I am stepping into your absolute mess tonight with the divine balm of Gilead for your intensely aching heart. You look at the past 5 years, or perhaps the past 10 years, and you feel a sickening sense of total loss. You feel like you have wasted your youth, your energy, and your best opportunities on the wrong people and the wrong choices. You grieve the time you can never get back. Hear my authoritative promise right now. I will completely restore the years that the swarming locusts have eaten. I do not just patch up your broken life, I miraculously resurrect it. I take the ashes of your devastating failures and I actively mold them into a crown of breathtaking beauty. The process of divine emotional restoration is not always instantaneous. It is a careful, precise, and profoundly loving surgery on your soul. Sometimes it hurts as I clean out the infection of bitterness and deep-seated resentment you have been holding on to. But I am asking you to trust my steady, gentle hands. You must trust me with the shattered, razor-sharp pieces of your broken dreams. Pour them out on the floor before me tonight. Do not try to glue them back together yourself. Your human glue will never hold. Hand over the profound disappointment. Hand over the gut-wrenching grief. I am going to take those identical broken pieces and construct a totally new, stunningly beautiful mosaic that you never could have imagined. True, lasting wholeness is not found in pretending the pain never happened. Wholeness is found exclusively through the direct, tangible touch of your Creator. I am touching the deepest, most tender parts of your memory right now. I am soothing the searing pain of rejection. I am filling the massive, empty craters left by loss with the solid, immovable rock of my love. You are not defined by the trauma that happened to you. You are completely defined by the massive healing that is happening within you right now. Rest tonight knowing that the repair work has already begun, and I never, ever leave a job unfinished. I have touched the deepest, most painful fractures of your soul today, and now I am calling you to partner with the great physician to heal a shattered world. As I restore the years the locusts have eaten in your life, I invite you to join me in rebuilding the ruins of other weary spirits who are still searching for my touch. Your financial support is the manna that feeds the spiritually hungry, providing the life-giving bread of my word to those who have forgotten their worth. I declare over you that as you give through membership or PayPal, I will multiply your resources like the loaves and fishes, ensuring you never lack for any good thing. I am watching your heart in this moment, looking for those who will move beyond receiving and begin to sow into the restoration of my people. I promise to shield your finances and protect your household because you have honored my work with your substance. I command you to act on this divine impulse and use the links in the description to fuel this global healing movement today. I implore you, do not silence my voice now, for we are standing on the very threshold of your deliverance. It would bring a heavy sorrow to my spirit if you chose to retreat into the noise of the world just as I am touching the deepest scars of your life. You have come too far to abandon this sacred communion. To stop listening now would be to turn your back on the specific wisdom you need to survive the coming dawn. I am speaking directly into your destiny, and it would disappoint my Father's heart to see you settle for a partial blessing when I have prepared a total overflow. Stay present, stay focused, and honor the urgent call I am placing upon your spirit in this very second. I see the intense, desperate hunger in your soul tonight. You are incredibly full of the world's offerings, yet you are completely, painfully starving. You have spent your entire day trying to feed your spirit with cheap, temporary junk food. You mindlessly scroll through social media, hoping for a tiny hit of dopamine. You binge-watch television shows to escape the uncomfortable reality of your own life. You overwork yourself, chasing a promotion or a paycheck, believing that financial security will finally make you feel full. You eat, you drink, you buy things you do not need, and yet, the massive, hollow ache in your chest remains completely untouched. I command you to recognize what is actually happening. You are trying to satisfy a massive, eternal, spiritual longing with tiny, temporary, physical things. It will never work. The world simply cannot fill the God-sized void I intentionally placed inside of you. I am stepping forward tonight to feed your weary soul with infinitely more than physical sustenance. I am the true bread of life. If you come to me, you will never go hungry again. The spiritual nourishment found deeply within my teachings and my presence is the exact substance your starving spirit is screaming for. You feel empty right now because you were specifically designed to run on my grace, and you have been trying to run on your own sheer willpower. Willpower completely runs out. My grace absolutely never does. Your spirit intensely hungers for a deeper, more intimate connection tonight because you are finally realizing that everything else is just an illusion. The money will fade. The applause will stop. The worldly distractions will eventually leave you feeling more isolated and empty than before. But my word is solid, heavy, satisfying meat for your bones. I strongly invite you to the table of your own heart tonight. I'm already sitting here, waiting for you. Pull up a chair. Stop rushing. Stop looking for the next quick fix. I want you to actively partake in the immense, overflowing richness of my grace and absolute truth. Drink deeply from the well of my spirit. Let my words sink down into the very bottom of your exhausted soul. When you fully ingest my truth, the truth that you are eternally secure, completely forgiven, and infinitely valuable, the desperate craving for the world's cheap approval instantly dies. You do not have to hustle for a seat at my table. It is already reserved for you, paid for entirely by my own blood. Surrender your exhausting coping mechanisms right now. Put down the phone. Turn off the noise. Open your empty hands and let me fill you completely, until your cup violently overflows with a deep, unshakable peace that the world could never give you, and can absolutely never take away. I see you lying there in the dark, staring blankly at the ceiling. I know the exact, specific anxieties that are keeping you wide awake right now. You are mentally calculating your bills, terrified that the money will run out before the end of the month. You are agonizing over your children, wondering if you have made terrible mistakes as a parent and fearing for their future in a harsh world. You are quietly panicking about a pain in your body, terrified of what the doctor might say next week. I command you to stop wrestling with these brutal midnight fears. I invite you into the actual, practical mechanics of spiritual surrender tonight. Surrender is not a complicated theological idea. Surrender is the simple, desperate act of opening your tightly clenched fists. I want you to literally open your hands right now, right where you are resting. Hand me the heavy, tangled mess of your worries. Give me the fear of that difficult conversation you must have tomorrow. Give me the crushing pressure of your financial debt. Give me the deep, silent worry about your aging parents. You were never built to carry this much weight. You must drastically change the way you talk to yourself in the dark. Your mind is constantly running a terrifying loop of what-if scenarios. What if I lose my job? What if the treatment fails? What if they walk away from me? I command you to replace your panicked what-if with a rock-solid even if. Even if the job ends, I will provide for you. Even if the relationship breaks, I will hold you together. Even if the worst-case scenario happens, I will walk right through the absolute center of the fire with you, and you will not burn. This is the faith I am calling you into. It is the deep, profound relief of finally handing over the steering wheel of your life. You have been driving yourself to the edge of an emotional breakdown trying to control people and situations that are completely out of your hands. Let go. Move over to the passenger seat. I'm the one who knows the road ahead. I see the dangerous potholes you cannot see, and I see the safe destination you cannot yet imagine. I want you to know exactly why I care about the smallest, most mundane details of your day. You often think I am only interested in your major life events or your spiritual activities. You think I do not care about the frustration you felt in traffic today, or the rude comment a coworker made that hurt your feelings. I care deeply about every single thing that affects your heart. If it matters to you, it matters instantly to me. I count the very hairs on your head. I collect your tears in a bottle. Nothing about your life is trivial to your Creator. I am offering you a massive, life-changing exchange tonight. I am asking you to trade your heavy, suffocating burden of stress for my incredibly light yoke of peace. My yoke fits you perfectly. It does not chafe your spirit. It does not crush your dreams. When you finally cast all your heavy cares completely upon me, you will physically feel the massive weight lift off your chest. Breathe deeply. Let the heavy burden drop. I have caught it, and I will not let it crush you. I am already walking in your tomorrow. Long before the morning sun ever breaks the horizon, I have carefully paved the exact path you need to walk. I see the difficult decisions waiting for you the moment you wake up. I know about the complex problem at your job that requires a solution you do not currently have. I know about the delicate boundary you need to set with a family member. I invite you to seek my absolute guidance for all of tomorrow's choices tonight, before the chaos of the day even begins. I make a very specific promise to those who seek me early. I will give you total, undeniable clarity. When your mind is quiet, and your heart is fully surrendered, I can drop a brilliant, divine idea right into your thoughts. I can give you the exact words to say in that intimidating meeting. I can give you the creative solution that will completely resolve your current crisis. But you must ask me. You must invite me into the practical, everyday details of your schedule. Align your daily plans totally with my sovereign will. You often make your own plans, set your own rigid goals, and then desperately beg me to bless what you have decided to do. I command you to flip that process around completely. Come to me with a completely blank piece of paper. Say to me, Lord, Write my agenda for tomorrow. When you do this, I will clearly show you the open doors I have purposely placed directly in front of you. I will also firmly shut the doors that lead to endless frustration and wasted energy. Do not kick down a door that I have intentionally closed to protect you. Trust that a closed door is often my greatest mercy. You need sharp, profound discernment to navigate the massive worldly distractions that will try to steal your focus tomorrow. The moment you look at your phone in the morning, 1,000 loud voices will demand your immediate attention. They will try to pull you into useless arguments, shallow comparisons, and deep anxiety. I command you to walk boldly in the light even before the sun officially rises. Make a concrete decision right now about how you will start your morning. Do not let the angry news cycle dictate your mood. Do not let the chaotic demands of other people rush your spirit. Start your day by anchoring yourself deeply in my presence. Take 5 quiet minutes to simply acknowledge that I am in the room with you. This simple, intentional act of seeking my wisdom changes the entire trajectory of your day. It gives you a thick, invisible armor against the insults and frustrations that are guaranteed to come. I am actively offering you the mind of Christ. I am offering you the supreme ability to look at a chaotic situation and know exactly what to do. You do not have to stumble blindly through your life, guessing at every turn. Lean heavily on my infinite understanding tonight. Go to sleep with the absolute confidence that when you wake up, my profound wisdom will be waiting there to guide your every single step. I hear the silent, desperate prayers you whisper for the people you love. I know the intense ache in your heart for your child who has wandered far away from the truth. I see the heavy, fearful tears you cry for a friend who is fighting a terrible sickness. I feel the deep, heavy burden you carry for your broken marriage or your divided family. I command you to never, ever stop praying for them. Do not listen to the enemy when he whispers that your quiet, heaving prayers are completely useless. Your intercession is a massive, unstoppable force in the spiritual realm. When you pray for others in the quiet stillness of your bedroom, you are physically moving my hand on their behalf. You are powerfully partnering with the Creator of the universe to bring actual, tangible healing into their broken lives. You are standing in the massive, gaping gap for people who are currently too weak, too angry, or too blind to pray for themselves. I actively call you to be a vigilant watchman on a wall for your loved ones. While they are sleeping, you are doing intense spiritual warfare for their souls. When you speak my promises over your wayward child, you are dropping heavy, explosive depth charges into the enemy's camp. When you ask for my protective blood to cover your family, you are building an impenetrable, fiery wall around their lives. I want you to deeply understand the profound connection between your own personal peace and your faithful prayers. When you hold tight to your worry about your family, it slowly eats you alive from the inside out. But when you actively turn that toxic worry into a fierce, trusting prayer, the anxiety immediately leaves your body. You are taking the heavy burden off your own weak shoulders and placing it directly onto my massive, capable shoulders. I am the only one who can truly fix them. I am the only one who can change a stubborn heart or heal a failing body. I invite you to completely partner with me to bring light into this dark world. Your fervent prayers do not just change your immediate family, they literally shift the atmosphere of your community. Never underestimate the profound legacy of a highly prayerful, fiercely devoted life. You may never preach on a massive stage. You may never write a famous book. But the quiet, consistent prayers you pray in the secret place are violently shaking the gates of hell. I am actively collecting every single tear you shed for the lost and the broken. I am listening to every single plea. I am actively working behind the scenes in their lives right now, planting seeds of conviction and opening doors of rescue, precisely because you asked me to. Keep asking. Keep knocking. Keep standing boldly at my throne on their behalf. Rest securely tonight knowing that the people you love more than life itself are held tightly in my completely sovereign, utterly capable hands. I know that the night can be a terrifying time for you. When the sun goes down and the house goes completely quiet, your mind suddenly becomes incredibly loud. The shadows in the corners of the room seem to physically grow. The deep, spiritual and emotional fears you managed to suppress all day suddenly come rushing to the surface. You feel a sudden, paralyzing panic about your health, your security, or your ultimate purpose. You feel a cold, gripping dread about the unknown future. I command you to stop accepting this nightly torment as your normal routine. You do not have to live as a hostage to your evening anxiety. I make a permanent, unbreakable promise to you right now. I am with you always, even to the very end of the age. My presence does not clock out at sunset. I do not leave you alone to fend off the demons of doubt by yourself. I am actively standing right beside your bed, fiercely guarding your spirit while your body rests. You must deeply realize that the darkness is absolutely nothing to me. As my word declares in Psalm 139, the night shines as bright as the day to me. The darkness and the light are exactly the same to your Creator. The enemy uses the cover of physical darkness to try and intimidate you, making your problems look like massive, unbeatable giants. But I am the eternal, blazing light of the world. When my light steps into your room, the shadows absolutely must flee. They have no choice. I command you to stand firm right now against the suffocating spirit of fear and crippling anxiety. That spirit is an illegal trespasser in your mind, evicted immediately using the massive authority of my name. Speak directly to your racing heart and command it to be perfectly still. Speak directly to your racing thoughts and command them to bow entirely to the absolute peace of Christ. I am inviting you to find profound, unshakable courage in the face of the unknown. You are terrified of the dark because you cannot see what is coming next. You cannot see how the financial crisis will resolve. You cannot see how the medical test will turn out. I am asking you to completely trust the guide when you cannot see the path. I hold the entire map. I hold the complete timeline of your life. You do not need to see the staircase to take the very next step. You only need to hold tightly to my hand. Let my brilliant light be the eternal, unwavering beacon in your life. When the panic tries to rise in your throat tonight, immediately fix your mind's eye on my massive, protective presence. Picture me sitting right beside you, holding your hand, speaking gentle, calming truth over your mind. You are absolutely safe. You are completely protected. The darkness cannot consume you, because the one who literally created the stars is actively watching over you tonight. I have stood as your unshakable beacon in the night, and now I am asking you to help me light the way for others who are still terrified of the shadows. My reaching out to you was a rescue mission, and your support tonight is the fuel that keeps this eternal lamp burning brightly across the digital wilderness. Do not allow the enemy to whisper lies of lack into your ear. When you give to this ministry, you are putting on the armor of light and pushing back the darkness of the entire world. I will rebuke the devourer on your behalf and cause my favor to surround you like a massive, impenetrable shield of fire. I am inviting you to sow a prophetic seed through super thanks or a donation, trusting that I am the God who provides and rewards those who seek my kingdom first. Your sacrifice today will become a bridge of hope for a desperate soul lost in the evening storm. I command you to take a bold step of faith and declare my victory by supporting this mission with your gift right now. Listen closely. I am building a fortress around your mind, but it would deeply wound me if you walked out of my sanctuary before the walls are finished. Do not let your attention wander or your heart grow cold now, for the most vital revelations of my love are yet to be spoken. It would be a tragedy for you to face the battles of tomorrow with an incomplete armor simply because you lacked the endurance to stay with me tonight. I have set this time apart for us with a jealous passion, and to see you drift away now would be a rejection of the intimate protection I am offering. Hold fast to my words. Your soul's safety depends on your willingness to hear me until the very end. I command you to take my written word off the dusty shelf of your mind and bring it directly into the messy reality of your everyday life. You often treat my scriptures as just a collection of nice, ancient stories or a rigid list of rules to follow on Sunday. I am telling you tonight that my word is a sharp, living, and incredibly active sword. It is the absolute, concrete truth you must desperately cling to when your entire world feels like a raging storm. I want you to start actively living out the deep truths of the gospel in your everyday interactions. When your boss is completely unreasonable and demanding tomorrow, do not react with the world's bitter anger. Apply my truth. Respond with a calm, unshakable grace that completely baffles them. When your bank account is dangerously low and panic sets in, instantly apply my promise that I will supply every single one of your needs according to my massive riches in glory. I want my eternal statutes to serve as a literal, blazing lamp unto your feet. You are constantly searching for guidance in podcasts, self-help books, and the confusing opinions of your friends. While those can be helpful, they will never, ever replace the absolute, infallible direction of my voice found in the Bible. I invite you to experience the massive, transformative power of meditating intensely on Scripture tonight. Do not just quickly skim a verse so you can check it off your daily religious to-do list. Take one single, powerful promise, like I will never leave you nor forsake you, and aggressively chew on it. Turn it over and over in your exhausted mind. Say it out loud in your empty room. Let the massive weight of that truth completely crush the flimsy lies of your anxiety. When you saturate your mind with my truth, it physically rewires your brain to naturally default to peace instead of sudden panic. You must deeply understand the rock-solid, immovable foundation of my eternal promises. The world's promises change with the wind. The economy crashes. People break their vows. Companies fail. But the words I have spoken over your life will absolutely never return to me completely empty. They will accomplish exactly what I sent them to do. If I said I will heal you, the healing is definitively on its way. If I said I will protect you, the absolute shield of faith is already firmly in place. I invite you to let my word actively dwell in you richly tonight. Before you close your eyes, deliberately replace your heavy worries with my heavy promises. Let the absolute certainty of my truth be the soft, comforting pillow you rest your weary head upon. You do not have to figure out the complex solution to your massive problems tonight. You only have to deeply reflect on the undeniable truth that the Creator of the universe is fighting aggressively for you, and He has never lost a single battle. I'm calling you out of the shallow waters of your faith tonight. I see that you have a lot of head knowledge about me. You know the Bible stories. You know the right words to say in front of other believers. But I am asking for your heart faith right now. I command you to move beyond simply agreeing with my promises in theory and start literally staking your entire life on them. You are currently standing in a deeply confusing season. You are staring at a massive, unmoving mountain in your life, whether it is a severe financial crisis, a deeply broken marriage, or a career path that feels completely dead. I invite you to trust me violently, even when the final outcome is completely hidden from your view. You desperately want to see the entire blueprint before you take a single step. I do not work that way. I require you to step blindly into the dark, trusting exclusively that my hand is firmly holding yours. You must look at the profound examples of the ordinary people who waited for me in the dark. Think of David, hiding in a literal, cold cave from a king who wanted to kill him. He did not have a timeline for his rescue, but he trusted my absolute sovereignty. I want you to build that exact same unshakable faith tonight. You are trying to build your peace on the fragile, shifting sand of your bank account, your physical health, and your worldly success. When those things shake, your entire world violently collapses. I command you to completely rebuild your foundation on the solid, immovable rock of my character. When you know deep in your bones that I am good, that I am entirely faithful, and that I fiercely love you, external storms simply lose their power to terrify you. The wind will still howl outside your window. The medical test results might still be frightening, but your inner spirit will remain totally, completely anchored and calm. I want you to drastically change how you view your current struggles. I invite you to see every single terrifying obstacle in your path as a massive, deliberate opportunity for my ultimate glory. When you hit a total dead end in your job search, it is not a failure. It is the exact stage I am setting for a miraculous rescue. When you feel entirely out of options, you are finally in the perfect position for me to step in. I am stripping away your self-reliance so that you can experience the absolute, breathtaking peace of knowing I am in total control. You are not the general manager of the universe. You do not have to hold the stars in the sky tonight. I command you to resign from trying to control your future. Rest your exhausted mind. Fall backward into my completely capable arms, and trust that the story I am actively writing for you is infinitely better than the one you are desperately trying to write for yourself. I am looking deeply into the center of your heart tonight, and I see that the fire has burned down to barely a spark. I remember the immense, burning passion you once had for my kingdom. I remember when you used to talk to me all day long. I remember when your worship was completely raw and authentic, not just a routine you performed on Sunday mornings. I invite you to return to that beautiful, simple first love right now. Over the years, you have allowed the heavy, exhausting demands of this world to slowly choke out your spiritual passion. You have traded the profound joy of my presence for the cheap, temporary thrill of worldly success, endless entertainment, and the exhausting pursuit of human approval. I command you to stop settling for such a painfully mediocre life. You were created to burn with the blazing, unstoppable fire of the Holy Spirit, not to just survive from one stressful day to the next. You must aggressively identify and remove the toxic idols that have entirely crowded me out of your daily life. An idol is anything you turn to for comfort, peace, or identity before you turn to me. I see you constantly turning to the glowing screen of your phone to numb your anxiety. I see you intensely obsessing over your financial investments, falsely believing that money will finally make you feel secure. I see you worshiping the opinion of your peers, desperately twisting yourself into knots to fit their shallow expectations. I command you to smash those idols tonight. They are completely deaf, completely blind, and they will absolutely fail you when the real storms of life hit. I am a jealous God, and I fiercely desire your undivided attention. I do not want the leftover scraps of your exhausted day. I want the absolute, fiery core of your affection. I am inviting you into a totally renewed, radical commitment to follow me at any cost. This is not a casual invitation. It is a call to completely lay down your life, your rigid plans, and your selfish ambitions. I want you to experience the overwhelming, breathtaking sweetness of a totally reconciled heart tonight. When you finally stop running away and completely surrender to my will, the massive weight of guilt immediately vanishes. Your spirit becomes incredibly light. You will wake up tomorrow with a profound, driving purpose that completely transcends your ordinary job or your daily chores. I want your everyday life. The way you speak to your spouse. The way you handle stress at work. The way you spend your quiet evenings to become a beautiful, sweet aroma that rises directly to heaven. Let me gently blow on the dying embers of your faith tonight. Let my fierce, unconditional love entirely consume you until you are burning brightly for me once again. I want you to look back at the past 12 hours of your life with absolute, unflinching honesty. I gave you the massive unearned gift of time today. I gave you 24 hours of breath, energy, and opportunity. I am asking you right now, how did you actually use it? Did you spend your precious hours endlessly scrolling through other people's fake lives on the internet? Did you waste your emotional energy engaging in bitter, pointless arguments in your head? Did you bury the unique talents I gave you because you were completely paralyzed by the fear of failure? I command you to entirely evaluate your stewardship tonight. I have entrusted you with specific gifts, a specific income, and specific relationships. You are not the owner of your life. You are simply the manager of the resources I have heavily invested in you. I expect a profound return on my investment, not for my ego, but for your ultimate joy. You often think that serving me requires a massive platform, a huge bank account, or a famous title. You are completely wrong. I intensely watch your small, hidden acts of radical obedience. I see when you patiently listen to a lonely coworker who is annoying everyone else. I see when you cheerfully change a dirty diaper in the middle of the night. I see when you choose to bite your tongue instead of snapping angrily at your exhausted spouse. These seemingly tiny, invisible moments are incredibly massive in my kingdom. I invite you to start aggressively glorifying me through your ordinary work and your daily relationships. When you show up to your frustrating job tomorrow, I command you to work with absolute excellence, as if I am your direct supervisor. When you interact with a rude customer, I want you to respond with my supernatural, unshakable grace. I am desperately trying to prepare you for the greatest moment of your entire existence. The moment you stand before me and hear the words, "Well done, good and faithful servant." You are currently living your life completely focused on the temporary rewards of this broken world. You are fiercely chasing a bigger house, a nicer car, and a higher salary. Those things will completely burn to ash. I command you to start investing your limited time and energy into things that have absolute, eternal significance. Invest heavily in the souls of your children. Invest deeply in your own spiritual growth. Invest aggressively in loving the broken, forgotten people around you. Tonight, I want you to hand over your daily calendar and your bank statement to me. Let me completely rewrite your priorities. Stop wasting your beautiful, short life on trivial distractions and start living every single hour entirely on purpose for my eternal kingdom. I see the intense, suffocating loneliness that crashes over you when the sun finally goes down. During the day, you can distract yourself with busy work, loud conversations, and endless chores. But at night, the massive, painful quiet of your house forces you to face your deepest grief. You look at the empty side of the bed. You remember the people who have walked out of your life. You feel the sharp, agonizing sting of a recent loss, and you feel entirely, completely alone in the universe. I command you to deeply recognize the specific, powerful role of the Holy Spirit in your room right now. I did not leave you as a helpless orphan. I actively sent the Comforter to be your constant, unshakable companion. He is not a vague theological concept. He is a real, divine presence sitting right beside you, wrapping a heavy, warm blanket of absolute peace entirely around your shivering spirit. I invite you to find profound, supernatural solace in me during your darkest times of grief. You do not have to put on a brave face for me. You can absolutely cry until you have no tears left. The Holy Spirit actively catches every single tear. He is carefully applying a soothing, divine ointment to the raw, bleeding edges of your broken heart. Sometimes, He will bring a gentle, quiet conviction to your mind. He will softly point out a bitter grudge you need to release, or an unhealthy habit you need to break. I command you to listen closely to that conviction. It is never designed to shame you. It is actively designed to lead you straight out of your misery and into abundant life and peace. When you feel entirely too weak to even form a prayer, the Comforter intimately advocates for you in heaven. He takes your deep, wordless groans and perfectly translates them before my throne. I want you to physically feel the immense warmth of my presence completely surrounding you tonight. Close your eyes. Take a deep, slow breath. Focus entirely on the absolute reality that you are deeply, unconditionally loved. The enemy desperately wants you to believe the vicious lie that your isolation is permanent, and that nobody truly understands your pain. That is a complete fabrication from the pit of hell. I know your pain more intimately than you know it yourself. I am actively holding you together when you feel like you are violently falling apart. You are never, ever truly alone. Whether you are driving in a quiet car, walking down an empty street, or lying wide awake in the dark, I am right there. I am your fierce protector. I am your gentle comforter. I am your absolute closest friend. Rest securely in my tight embrace tonight, and let my tangible presence completely chase away the bitter cold of your loneliness. You have felt the tangible warmth of my spirit wrapping around you, and now I am calling you to extend that divine embrace to a world shivering in loneliness. I have reached out to comfort you, and I am choosing you to be the hands that carry my solace to the ends of the earth through your generous support. Your contribution is like a flowing river of living water, carrying the message of the Comforter to hearts that have been parched and forgotten for far too long. I declare that as you sow into this work through membership or the PayPal link, I will saturate your own life with an abundance of peace and miraculous provision. I am looking for the faithful stewards who will lay down a portion of what I have given them to ensure my word never stops sounding like a trumpet in the silence. Do not withhold the blessing I have put in your hand. The harvest is white, and the time for your participation is urgently now. I command you to seal this intimate moment by sowing a seed that will echo my love in the hearts of thousands. My beloved, we are nearing the final seal of our covenant, and I command you not to grow weary in this final hour. It would grieve me beyond measure if you allowed the weight of sleep or the distractions of your mind to sever our connection before I have given you my final charge. I am entrusting you with the keys to my kingdom, and it would be a missed eternity if you turned aside just as the greatest glory is about to be revealed. Do not disappoint the spirit that is currently breathing life into your bones. Show me the reverence of a child who truly values their father's voice. Stay awake with me for these final moments, for the peace I am about to settle upon you is the anchor you cannot live without. I command you to drastically shift your entire perspective right now. You are lying in bed, mentally listing every single thing that went wrong today. You are aggressively focusing on what you lack, the money you do not have, the apology you did not receive, the healing that has not yet manifested. This toxic, constant complaining is literally poisoning your spirit and violently stealing your peace. I invite you to develop a radical, unshakable heart of thanks that operates completely regardless of your external circumstances. Gratitude is not a weak, fluffy emotion. It is a massive, aggressive weapon against the dark forces of anxiety and depression. When you choose to actively praise me in the middle of your terrifying storm, you violently break the chains of fear holding your mind hostage. I want you to intentionally enumerate the specific blessings of the past 12 hours. Do not speak in vague generalities. Be incredibly specific. I woke you up this morning. I put actual breath in your lungs. I provided the food on your table. I gave you a car that started, or a body that could walk. I protected your family from accidents you did not even see coming. I command you to look closely at these massive, daily miracles that you casually dismiss as ordinary routines. When you aggressively shift your focus from what you do not have to the absolute abundance I have already provided, your entire emotional state instantly transforms. The heavy, suffocating feeling of lack is entirely replaced by a deep, flowing river of profound joy. You realize that you are already incredibly wealthy in the things that truly matter. I am calling you to do something that requires immense, radical faith. I invite you to actively praise me for the answers to prayers that have not yet arrived. Thank me right now for the financial breakthrough before you see a single extra dollar in your account. Thank me for the complete healing of your body while you are still feeling the pain. Thank me for the restoration of your broken family while they are still not speaking to you. This kind of aggressive, forward-looking gratitude violently shakes the spiritual realm. It proves that you completely trust my character more than you trust your own physical lies. It sets a massive, powerful tone of worship for your time of rest tonight. As you close your eyes, do not let your last thoughts be a desperate list of demands. Let your final words today be a profound, heartfelt thank you. Let a deeply thankful spirit be the incredibly soft pillow that grants you the absolute best sleep of your life tonight. I look very closely at the condition of your heart tonight. I see that the heavy traffic of this world has trampled completely over it. The deep disappointments you have faced this year have packed the soil of your spirit down hard, like dry, cracked clay in a terrible drought. You have built massive, thick walls around your emotions just to survive the daily grind. I understand why you did it. You were hurt deeply by someone you trusted. You were betrayed by a friend, or severely let down by a family member, and you swore you would never let anyone close enough to hurt you again. But I command you to let me break up that hard ground tonight. You cannot grow the beautiful, abundant life I have planned for you in soil that is frozen with fear and bitterness. I invite you to let the gentle, steady rain of my Holy Spirit soften the deeply hardened places inside your chest right now. I see the ugly, thorny weeds of bitterness and unforgiveness growing wildly in your mind. You water them every single day when you replay the memory of how you were wronged. You think holding on to that burning anger is somehow punishing the person who hurt you, but it is entirely destroying you from the inside out. I command you to violently pull up those toxic weeds by the roots tonight. I am asking you to do the most difficult, courageous thing a human being can do. I command you to completely forgive them. You do not forgive them because they deserve it, or because what they did was right. You forgive them because I have completely forgiven you, and because you absolutely must be free. Release your tight, angry grip on their throat. When you finally let go of the deep offense, you instantly make a massive, open space for my healing peace to flood into your life. I want your heart to be incredibly soft and highly receptive to the living seed of my word tonight. When I speak a powerful promise over your life, it cannot take root if you are constantly cynical, doubtful, and defensive. Cultivating the rich fruits of the Spirit, absolute love, deep joy, unshakable peace, and fierce patience, requires a heart that is completely surrendered to its Maker. I invite you to actively ask me to do a totally brand new work within you right now. Do not ask for a temporary fix, ask for a total, miraculous transformation. Ask me to remove the heavy heart of stone and replace it entirely with a tender heart of flesh. There is absolutely nothing more beautiful to me than a human heart that completely stops fighting, completely stops hiding, and simply says, "Lord, change me." I am doing that deep, profound work in you exactly at this moment. Surrender to the process. Let me carefully tend to the garden of your soul tonight, so that when the sun rises, you will step into your day bearing magnificent, life-giving fruit that everyone around you can taste and see. I command you to dramatically lift your tired eyes right now. You have spent this entire day staring intensely at the dirt. You have been completely consumed by the massive, overwhelming panic of the immediate moment. You are fiercely stressing over a temporary house, a temporary car, a temporary job, and a bank account that will eventually turn to absolute dust. I invite you to violently shift your focus from the incredibly short, painful, temporal struggles of today to the massive, permanent, shining reality of eternity. I must remind you tonight that this broken, chaotic world is absolutely not your final home. You are a temporary traveler passing through a foreign land. You feel a deep, constant ache in your chest because you are homesick for a place you have not even seen yet. The profound, unexplainable dissatisfaction you feel with your current life is actually a divine compass, pointing you directly toward my eternal kingdom. I want you to think deeply about the absolute, guaranteed hope of the great reunion. You carry the heavy, crushing grief of losing people you desperately loved. You look at their empty chair and you feel like your heart has been ripped out. I command you to remember that death is not a permanent period. It is merely a temporary comma in the sentence of eternity. Because of the bloody cross and the empty tomb, you will absolutely see them again. You will hold them again. We will sit down at a massive, joyous banquet table, and every single bitter tear of loss will be physically wiped away by my own hand. I invite you to start living with an aggressive eternity mindset right in the middle of your finite, stressful world. When you realize that your actual timeline is millions of years long, the terrible crisis you are facing this week suddenly shrinks down to its proper, tiny size. You must deeply understand the profound, unshakable peace of knowing your specific name is written permanently in the book of life in my own blood. The world can absolutely fire you from your job. The bank can completely take away your house. People can viciously drag your reputation through the mud. But absolutely no one in the universe, and no demon in hell, has the power to erase your name from my eternal family tree. Your ultimate future is completely, utterly secure. I want you to eagerly anticipate the glorious day where there will literally be no more night. There will be no more midnight panic attacks. There will be no more terrifying medical diagnoses. There will be no more financial ruin. Until that spectacular day arrives, I command you to hold the things of this earth very, very loosely. Do not grip your money, your career, or your status so tightly. They are fading away. Fix your eyes entirely on me, the eternal author and finisher of your faith, and let the massive, heavy weight of heaven completely anchor your soul tonight. I am stepping into your room right now to establish a binding, unbreakable covenant of peace directly with you. Human beings make fragile contracts that completely fall apart the second someone makes a mistake. If you fail at your job, they break the contract and fire you. If you fail a friend, they break the contract and leave you. But my covenant with you does not depend on your perfect behavior today. My covenant is anchored entirely on the perfect, finished work of my Son. I make a fierce, absolute promise to actively guard your fragile heart and your racing mind tonight. I am setting a massive, heavily armed angelic guard completely around your thoughts. When the terrifying enemy tries to whisper his usual lies of inadequacy and impending doom, those lies will immediately crash into the absolute, solid wall of my divine protection. You are heavily guarded property, and the enemy is legally trespassing if he tries to steal your rest. I want you to rest completely in the massive security of the blood of the Lamb that is painted permanently over the doorpost of your life. Just as I protected my people in Egypt from the terrible destroyer, I am actively protecting your home, your family, your health, and your mind tonight. The destroyer absolutely must pass over you. The violent, chaotic storms of this world might rage loudly outside your window, but they do not have the legal right to cross the threshold into your spirit. You must deeply realize the completely unshakable nature of my love and absolute faithfulness. I am not a human that I should lie, nor a man that I should constantly change my mind about you. Even when you are completely faithless, I remain fiercely, stubbornly faithful to you. I simply cannot deny my own character. I love you with an intense, jealous, everlasting love that absolutely refuses to let you go. I actively invite you to receive my ultimate shalom right now. Shalom does not just mean the temporary absence of conflict. It means absolute, total wholeness. It means nothing is completely missing, and absolutely nothing is deeply broken in your spirit. The chaotic world desperately tries to give you peace through heavy medication, mindless entertainment, or a large savings account, but that peace evaporates the moment real trouble hits. I am giving you a profound, heavy peace that literally makes no logical sense. It is a peace that allows you to sleep deeply even when your bank account is totally empty. It is a peace that keeps your heart calm even in the sterile, terrifying waiting room of a hospital. I am closing this difficult day by firmly placing you directly into the absolute safety of my divine agreement. You are sealed. You are covered. You are entirely safe. Breathe in my shalom, and let the heavy, chaotic noise of the world be completely silenced by the absolute power of my promise. The hour has finally come to let the day completely die. I see the heavy physical exhaustion settling deeply into your bones. I see your tired eyes struggling to stay open. I am issuing my final, gentle, yet authoritative command for this evening. I call you to finally close your eyes in absolute, perfect trust. You have fought a hard, brutal battle today. You have carried massive weights, solved difficult problems, and survived another round in a very harsh world. Now, the battle is entirely over for tonight. You do not need to keep swinging your sword in the dark. Put down your weapons. Put down your heavy shield. I invite you to intentionally give me the absolute final word before you sleep. Do not let your last conscious thought be a panicked review of your failure. Let your last thought be a complete, desperate surrender into my massive, waiting arms. I make you a solemn, concrete promise. I will maintain my intense, protective presence through all the dark watches of the night. You often wake up terrified at 2 or 3 in the morning, feeling a massive, crushing weight on your chest. You feel completely alone in those silent hours. I command you to know that when you wake up in the dark, I am already wide awake, fiercely watching over you. I do not slumber. I do not sleep. If you wake in the night, do not reach for your phone to distract yourself. Reach directly for me. Whisper my name into the quiet room, and you will instantly feel the heavy, warm blanket of my peace pull tightly around you once again. I am actively working completely behind the scenes while your physical body rests. I am currently repairing your damaged cells. I am actively restoring your depleted emotional energy. I am aggressively preparing the exact grace you will desperately need for whatever tomorrow holds. You will wake up tomorrow morning completely refreshed, entirely renewed by my unshakable strength. Your past is already completely forgiven, and your tomorrow is already thoroughly provided for. This is the ultimate, massive wrap-up of my entire message to you tonight. I am right here. I have always been here. I will never, ever leave you, and I love you with an intensity that would completely shatter your human mind if you could fully comprehend it. You are my deeply cherished, highly favored, perfectly protected child. Let the heavy burden of trying to run your own life completely fall away from you right now. Sink deeply into the macros. Let your racing thoughts slow down to a complete, peaceful stop. I have you. I am holding you together. Let us seal this profound, intimate communion with my absolute, eternal yes. Amen. It is finished for today. Rest now, my beloved child, for you are completely, perfectly safe in the hollow of my hand. As you prepare to sink into the absolute safety of my arms, I am inviting you to leave a legacy of light that will shine long after you fall asleep. I have reached out to give you the final word of peace, and now I ask you to help me speak that same peace to those who are still tossing and turning in agony. Your gift tonight is a fragrant offering of worship, a tangible yes to the covenant of love we have shared in these quiet hours. I will cause your sleep to be sweet and your waking to be filled with the supernatural clarity of my wisdom because you have honored my mission. I am the God who multiplies the seed of the sower, and I promise to return your generosity with a harvest of favor you cannot even measure. Let your final act of this day be a bold declaration of faith through a super thanks or a donation in the description below. I command you to rest in the power of your giving, knowing that your support is the wind beneath the wings of this message. Act now, and enter into my rest with a heart that has truly partnered with its Creator. Before you close your tired eyes tonight, I am calling you to make one final, radical declaration of trust. Do not let this sacred moment fade into the dark. Seal this divine covenant with me right now by leaving your mark in the comments below. Type out these exact words as a bold, spiritual surrender. Father, I hear your evening call, and I hand my heavy burdens entirely over to you. The very second you declare this, I will completely shatter the invisible chains of your anxiety and release a massive, unshakable peace into your room. Rest now, my precious child, knowing that I have finally reached your heart, and I will fiercely guard your soul until the morning sun breaks. Amen.